Mm. Hello. All right. Letting everyone in.
Hello,
Hi there. Can you hear me?
this is Alan. I'm sorry, I connected too early.
No problem. I
Uh,
just, when it connect too early, you just sit there in the waiting room for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
I don't hear it or anything. You just sit there waiting. So I'm sorry that you had to wait so long, but other than
Sorry about that. These days I'm confused. Yesterday I tried to connect you. I thought it's Monday already.
yeah, I have sometimes days when I don't know what day it is. Uh, that's for sure. It's not just you, Alan, every now and then because Zoom sends me an email when someone connects. The first person who connects, I get an email. So yeah,
Oh,
Saturday and Sunday, or like sometimes 2 p.m. on Thursday, completely different day, I'll get a message. So and so tried to connect. And I'm like, well, it's not
because
close enough.
my
Still
wife
trying to
found out. My wife found out that she said that this will send you too many warnings. Then it will.
Yeah, no, it only sends me one warning
Uh,
per class. So
oh,
today, the first one who connected, I will get an email saying such and such connected. And then
oh,
the rest I don't get emails about.
I'm
But when
sorry.
it's a Sunday, right? That
Yeah.
one person who connects, I get an email saying, Rodney connected or Josie connected. And I'll be, oh, okay, well, I guess they'll figure out it's not the right time. And I just keep going
Yeah.
with my life. I
Yeah,
don't,
that day I reversed. I it's really too early.
no problem. No problem at all. Don't worry. Don't worry. Anyway, hi everyone.
Uh, Nobody showed up yet.
Well,
Okay.
Rodney and Owen and Josie and Bless. So
Okay.
I don't know where everyone else is because this is a very full class. So hopefully they'll show up.
Hello,
But
Okay. Thank you.
all right.
hello, hello.
Hi,
Bless.
Bless.
Hi, hon. How are you?
Good. All right. So, Josie, do you know how to add your last name? Let's head over to the chat, everyone, and give me a little hey ho, good morning, hello. Well, it's not really good morning anymore, is it? Good afternoon. There we go. Good afternoon. I was writing good afternoon. All right. So, Josie, can you hear me at all, or are you connected? Maybe. I'm trying to remember your last name. For some reason, I think it's with a C, but I can't come up off the top of my head. So I would change it. I guess I can always look for the rosters, but if you happen to know how to change your own name, that would be great. Hi, Georgia. All right. A little bit confusing because on the one hand, I don't want to wait for people to show up, but I also don't want to have to repeat myself. So hopefully people will be here very shortly. I'll just give it one more minute until 1:05 before I go head first into this, and mainly because I am looking for Josie's last name. Hi, Marta. So let me
It's
see.
Carrillo.
Carrillo, there we go. All right. Yeah.
I
I
put it on the chat.
the moment you said it, oh, I didn't see that. Okay. So I can walk you through how to change it on your own video, which is where it needs to be. So can you, are you on a computer or on a phone?
I'm
Right?
on a computer. I think I know how to change the name.
Just
You
have
want it to say my last name, right?
say your last name on
Okay.
the video. So if you hover over, sometimes it's hard with people who are on their phones or something, but as long as you're on a computer, it's easy. Just,
Yeah. I think you just hover over the name and
yeah,
then it
then it says,
says, change name.
not over the name, but over the three little dots
Oh, that's right.
on
That's
the
right.
right of
Thank
your
you.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just get going. I don't know where everyone is. This is weird. Let's start. First of all, last week we got into the let's say the weeds. We were doing a lot of the prepping the program with file names and titles and metadata. Remember how we did that? And I'm just noticing that the light behind me is kind of bothersome. You guys, that light that's here bothers you? I can close the blinds. I don't normally have the blinds open. It's so easy to do.
Yeah, yes, it's distracting.
Yeah, so let me just it's some blinds that I have. It's nice not to be in the dark, but on the other hand, when I'm staring at a screen, who cares, right? There. That's much better. Okay. All right, so we have prepared our apps. Hopefully you updated to the latest version, and if you didn't, we'll work with whatever you have. Those of you who updated, did you see anything of concern? Just to know, I don't think there should be anything of concern. By the way, I'm noticing some people didn't write in the chat yet, so can y'all please write in the chat? I'm going to say hello in there again so that you can see where I'm referring to, that place that just said hello. Please go ahead and give me a little greeting. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and share my screen, and I'm gonna share the entire screen for a second. And later, I like sharing less than the entire screen, but for now, I'm gonna share the entire screen because I want to show you a few more things that appear only at the very top. So what do I mean by that? It turns out that here, let me make this a bit smaller and put you guys right here. When I select my program, there's things that I've been doing up here where I told you guys to go to the metadata and view and that kind of stuff. And when I shared just this window, you don't get to see those at the top. But it is much easier for me to share just this and not everything, because then you don't have to be seeing all this extra space on your screen that is unnecessary. So I'm going to go ahead and share just this in a minute, but I wanted to tell you that whenever I say we're going to go up to the top and click on something, and you see me doing, and I tell you go to window or go to image or go to view, stuff that I might be telling you to do, then what matters is for you to make sure that you are seeing the word photos next to the Apple icon, okay? And those are the ones I mean. Because if you click here in the background, you might see file, edit, view, and window, and they're similar, but that belongs to the Finder window. And my Photos app is grayed out. You see that? So it's not the active one. But if I click anywhere, when I say select the app anywhere, suddenly it becomes light. You have three colors in here, and that word says photos. Then file, edit, image, view, window. These belong to this app. Okay. So for now, I'm going to reshare to show you just this window. But one of the things I'm going to be using right now is the view. So I'm going to say go to view and do some stuff over there, or go to image and do some stuff over there, go to edit. Okay, so just reminding you that that's what I mean. But as you can see, I'm about to share my screen again. And now see how you see only this window and you don't see those things on top? Yeah. So if I were to say now go to window and I were to do that, then just, I'm doing it outside of the piece that's being shared. If you still can't see it because you need to know what I'm talking about, then please let me know. Okay. But right now, I'm just going to assume you guys know that I'm heading up to the top. Now, a question, when I do that, do you see the menu that pulled down, or do you not see the menu? Like I'm putting down a menu that says fill, center, move, resize. Do you see that at all or not at all? No. Okay. So the windows, the pull down menu isn't showing up. If I'm saying view, years, months, photos, none of that is showing up. Okay.
No.
That's good to know. Sometimes the pull down menus do show up and some they don't. So I know that if I need to go to the top, I'll have to explain that. All right. That was a fact finding mission that I was on, just to know what you guys could see or not. Okay. Meanwhile, hi Colette. And I think someone else showed up. Nope, it was just Colette. All right. So I'm sharing my window, my Photos app, and if you guys have any questions about the 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 settings that we made last week. First of all, we're going to make sure that we're in the library and all photos. Okay, library here on the left, all photos on the top. That's to kind of centralize and bring everything down to the middle again. Then are you all seeing these file names? Yeah. And another thing you should be seeing here and there are little icons. Like this image has a little icon here. It also says raw, which you would or not have if you happen to have a raw image. Like this is not a raw image, but it still has one of those icons. And then when I hover over something, this little heart keeps appearing and it goes away when I move away. Okay. And sometimes the heart might be white like that, or it might not. So these little icons over here, I have some more icons are hard for you to see, but I have like a little, like a price tag kind of thingy there. So these are all things that we're seeing now because we went last week to view metadata and turned on all those features. So that's what those features were that we were turning on. So we're going to explore those a little bit. But the first thing I'm going to say is why does sometimes we have a heart that has dark on it and sometimes doesn't? It's because if you click on that, click, that heart becomes white. If I click on it again, it goes away. And that's just to make the computer know that I believe this is a photo that is one of my favorites. So the heart means it's one of my favorites. So if I'm clicking on this guy right there and it's one of my favorites, now a peacock is more obvious. I'll click on a peacock. I just made it a favorite. I also have this one here a favorite. When I go here to the left side and click on favorites, any photo that I have hearted or liked appears here as a favorite. So down here you see my peacock right now, and you see this one there that I was pointing to. And if I now go to this heart and click on it again, boom, I have unfavorited it. So what happened to it?
It
It
went away.
disappeared from here. If I go into my library, there it still is. I didn't get rid of the photo. It's just not a favorite anymore. Okay. So I can favorite from here or favorite or unfavorite from here. But if I favorite from here and I go look for it, then I can go, it's not really such a favorite. And I can unfavorite from here and it'll go away. Okay. Of course, I can't refavorite because only favorites are showing. Does that make sense? So everyone, please go ahead and favorite something, then go to your favorites, find it, and then you can unfavorite. So it doesn't really matter if it is a favorite. It's just a matter of favoriting it for it to go into your favorites. Okay. Um, Now, when I go back, I just favorited three more. There they are. One, two, and three. And now the third one is not here. Why? Well, it's because it is showing my favorites in order of when they were taken. So I'm going to go to an old photo. I'm going to scroll up, all the way to like, I don't know, 2013. And I'm going to favorite this little guy. Or, oh, I was looking for this photo yesterday. I have this turtle. Oh, how funny. Let me show it to you. I'm going to select something to show you. How am I going to show it to you? I'm going to hit the space bar. When I hit the space bar, it becomes big. So now this is a tortoise that is now 22 years old because my husband gave it to me when I was pregnant with my first child, who is 22. This is my second child. So this is when the turtle was about 10 years old. It's a tortoise. Keep saying turtle. And she's still around. And someone the other day was asking me about it. I said, I have a photo where my youngest one is on top of it and I couldn't find it. And here it is. So I've made it a favorite. So now, even though it's from 2013, I can go back to my favorites and I will see it,
And
but
find it.
it's not going to show down here. Did I unfavorite again?
No, I don't think so.
I favorite it. There it is. I go to my favorites.
It'll
There
be-
it is.
Yeah.
It's way over there because it goes in order of when it was taken. So it's not like they pop in at the bottom. They pop in on top. Now then you go, okay, this kid, if I just told you this kid here, was 3 or 4, how come down here, is this the same kid? You might not know, but now he's here. And it's like, wait a minute, you just told me that this photo should be appearing over there. Well, there are situations where the schedule or the date is wrong in an image, and I have these dates wrong in a couple of them to show you how to fix them. So if it makes no sense that this guy would be here, however much I like seeing him here, but he is now 18, then something must be wrong with that image. And so when I look at the details of this image, we'll discover what's wrong. So I'm going to head back to the library and I'm going to look at this image. Not this one. It was the one that I just put in, which is showing up here. And when I did that, I went zoom up and down. I grabbed this corner to go up and down. I basically went all the way down to 2013. Now I'm going all the way down to 2025. And you go, what do you mean 2028? Well, because the dates are also wrong on these two. I change them and suddenly it appears as if I can see the future because my photos go all the way to 2028. So you guys, when you scroll up and down in this big library and all photos mode, for those of you who are just joining us, hi Mary Jean. So I'm looking at my photos in this mode where library and all photos is set up. So I'm seeing every single photo I've ever taken is appearing in order of date. So at the very, very top, I have some that are from like 1970. And it's like, wait a minute, we didn't have digital cameras in 1970. What's this photo doing here? Well, it's a photo of a photo. And I changed the date on that one to give it approximately the right date. Does that make sense? Versus this one is a photo of students of mine in the computer application department and in the computer room. This is the room 3. And no, it is not near 1970 that it was taken. That didn't exist. So how we're going to do that, we're going to check right now. But there's another reason that photos might be in the wrong space is they were scanned and they'll be in the date they were scanned. So if you scan them somewhere around 2020, you will have to select and change their name. So now I want to make sure that you have some photos that are disposable, like completely unimportant, as in grab your phone and take 3 photos of the floor next to you. I don't care, the ceiling next to you, the lamp next to you, because I want us to be able to change dates of photos and mess with them and have it be not important. Does that make sense? So do it right now. And then since most of you answered that you were on the cloud, I think all of you answered that you were on the cloud. If you do it right now, eventually in, 1 minute to 5 minutes to 10 minutes when you're on Zoom, it depends on how busy you are. Eventually all of that will appear in your group of photos here. Okay. So then we'll be able to change date and location and all of that. So again, so I'm just looking for some trash photos that it's okay if we do weird stuff with them. Many times people treasure their photos and they're not willing to, you know, just have things disappear. So in this case, I do want you to have things disappear. All right. Um, so again, if I'm looking at this little number right here, and I'm going to outline what I mean whoops, that was over here, I'm getting a date. And the date is saying that of the photos that I can see, so these photos, they span from June 15th, 2025 to November 3rd, 2028, which is these over here that I gave them the wrong date. Okay. So as I scroll up, this changes because now it's telling me that from May 30, what I'm seeing is from May 30 to June 2025. And it gives me an approximate location. Over here, these photos are taken in many different places. It says Arroyo Burro Beach and more because it can't figure some other out. Over here, it is very clear that it says that it's a place called Aveiro. Here's a place called Rota. But actually, it's just referring to that first line, okay? Because this over here is already in a different place. So it does its best, okay? But it can't give me everything. So anything that it says is the location, it's this. It's the mosque in the Cathedral of Córdoba. It's that first line. But if I want to know what the location is for this, I would have to kind of go all the way up here and then I'll see, oh, that's Santiago de Compostela. Okay. So these are just different different, you can see the span of photos, but you can't see the location because it just jumps up and down. And as long as your photos have location, that's fine. So that's what that is all about. So now I'm seeing from January 3rd to 18th of 2023. Now this is a sample library. So I have, I see your question. I'm going to head all the way to the bottom where I see I have 1,500 photos. In my real library, I have bazillions of photos. I have a span from 2013 to 2025 with only 1,500 photos because I only put a certain amount of photos in here as a sampler for teaching, okay? But in your case, even if you have hundreds or thousands, going up or down with this little scroll bar should be still relatively quick. But the scroll bar doesn't appear automatically. If your mouse is on it, there's no scroll bar. You need to start scrolling with whatever method you have. Either it's two fingers down on your screen on your give me 1 second, Georgia. Either it's two fingers down here or with your mouse, it's one finger down. And then once that little icon appears, so see, once again, when you're not scrolling, there's nothing there for you to move up and down. So you need to begin the scroll, then this window pops in, and then you can scroll up and down. Okay, everyone scroll all the way up and down. And yes, Georgia?
Um, I see the dates, but I don't see the place on my,
Here.
yeah,
Okay.
on my library.
It's possible that you don't have location turned on in your photos. I don't know. Do you see anywhere in any of your photos this little icon? This, and when I say this little icon, let me circle it. And it's hard because
No,
it's
I don't.
something like that. Okay. So it's possible that you don't have it turned on. Or if you go, remember that we went to, let me head over to view metadata.
Okay.
And if I turn off location,
View metadata. Wait.
so do you, no, it's still there. Do you have location turned on? You have
Metadata.
it checked.
Yeah, I have it turned on.
So then it's about whether that photo has location information or not. So let me show you, we're about to head straight into that. So it's good timing to show you that.
Okay,
So this here, you can barely see it, but it does have one of those little icons.
okay.
Versus this one doesn't. So what's the difference? Well, to see what that location is, I'm going to go to this little eye right here for information. Okay. You could
Yeah.
also go to view and turn it on from there, window information, but I'm going to go up to eye, click on that, and this little window pops up. Do you see my info window? Is that
Yep.
showing itself? Okay.
Yes.
So now my info window pops up, and this photo that I'm selected says that it is from December 2007. It was shot with a Canon PowerShot, da 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 da. And here's it's Santa Rosa and San Jacinto Mountains National Monument, Palm Springs, versus this one that has no little icon with location there, tells me when I took it, but it has no location. So the camera that was used to photograph this picture did not have location enabled. Verse one, this one did. Okay. So I'm not going to get a location for this one. If I know where it is, I can give it a location myself. But other than that, that will remain anonymous. And many times in the older photos, we didn't have the location feature turned on. Now, if you go and zoom all the way to the front now, and you click on a picture and it still has no location, then it's something that you need to choose to turn on in your phone if your camera, that your main camera is your phone, or in your big old DSLR if that's your main camera. So right now, this one here was taken, I believe last night or 2 nights ago at Thousand, in Santa Barbara, right under the mesa, under Shoreline Park, Thousand Steps Beach. I didn't know it was called Thousand Steps Beach. Versus this one was taken in East Beach, and this one is still coming up with the location. Since I just installed these, it's going to come up. But this one is showing me this is in Arroyo Beach. Okay. Um, so that is because on my phone, I have the location features turned on. So if you still don't see it on any photos, even newer ones, then if you want those to be there, I can show you how to turn that feature on in your phone. So anyone who who can't see location information in their photos. So I'm going to click over here. This one was at the Hollywood Bowl. Okay. Then when I click on this one, I have no location, nothing, no information, no camera information, no nothing. And this is a series of photos that my friends from Argentina, my girlfriends from Argentina, um, the ones I went to school with, my friends, they all went to France, Paris, to the wedding of one of these women. So not the women, her daughter. Her daughter got married. So they all went there and they sent me these photos. Like some of these they sent as a text, and some of them they sent to me. I saw them on Facebook. So I wanted to show you how that worked. And so I downloaded these. But notice that either because they were texted to me or because I downloaded them from Facebook, either way, I do not have any information about where this happened. I don't know the camera information. I don't know anything about them other than that I know them. So I know what happened and where they are. So I can add that information myself. Does that make sense? Versus this one, it's oh, this is the one that isn't from August 2025. This one I do know where it was taken, but we don't have date on it or location. Sorry, we have the date on it. That's wrong. And we have no location on it because we don't know what camera took it. So this one here is only my memory that can apply information. Okay. So, do you want me to help you check your camera to see to add location information, Georgia, or would you rather?
Yes, I would like that.
Okay. So I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to share my phone. So everyone go ahead and pick up your phones. This is the same if you take photos with your iPad, it would be the same with your iPad. I'm wondering, where is everyone? This is weird. This is such a full class. I don't understand where people are. It's confusing to me, but okay.
Do they think it's a Veterans Day holiday? To my
Ah,
calendar
but not to,
says that this is one of the Veterans Day holidays.
yeah, maybe I would have sent a message. Tomorrow is Veterans Day,
Right.
holiday, and if you have a class on Tuesday, you won't have it, but today is
Uh,
still teaching. All right.
And Diana, excuse me, Diana, I am leaving to go pick my car up out of the shop.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know.
Sorry.
That's okay, but thanks for showing up. All right. So guys, here's my phone. And in order to allow the phone to take a snapshot of location, you need to go to the settings, go to settings. And again, if you don't know how to find settings, then you can always do a search over here. Click on that and then just write SET, and that's enough for the settings icon to appear. Okay, so everyone, even if you do have your location services turned on, go ahead and grab your phone and learn about this because this is important. Plus, this is also a way for you to control which apps follow your location. And I don't want all apps to follow my location. I don't want Google to know where I am all the time. I don't want, so you can turn these on and off according to what you find in here. So we're going to scroll down to privacy and security. Okay, so this is the main settings page, all the way down to privacy and security. We're going to click on that. And then here it tells me location services. And I click on location services. And it's possible that you might have yours turned off. That means that nothing in your phone can track you, not even emergency services, 911, not even your map to tell you how to get directions for how to get from one place to another, et cetera, et cetera. So this means you turn everything off. Now, I don't want to do that. I do want to have it turn on, but I want to control which apps can follow me. So in this case, I want my camera while I'm using it to be able to track me. So when I click on camera, I can tell it to never track me, to ask me each time, which that would drive me crazy, or sure, I'll turn it on while I'm using the app. So the camera isn't tracking me all the time, but when I open the camera to take a picture, it knows where I am. And if it's going to know where I am, I use precise location so that I really know where I am. Okay? Did that help, Georgia?
Yes, it was turned off and I just turned it on.
Cool.
Now,
Now, was it off for the camera or for everything? Because if you
just the camera, because I use maps for driving and
Okay, good. So this is where I want everyone to know that you have control. Like I do want the maps to be on when I'm using it, et cetera, et cetera. So you get to go down here now and choose where you want it to be, okay? When you want it to turn on. Like weather, it makes sense to tell the weather where I am while I'm using it so that when I turn on the weather, it tells me Santa Barbara, such and such temperature, instead of having to type in the word Santa Barbara each time. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
you get to choose for all your services where you when you want location tracked. You might find that there's some that you didn't want to have there. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the settings and go back to my camera. And since I'm in my camera, since I'm in my camera already, because it came back to camera, because that's kind of where I was. And if you're not in your camera, then that's fine. But this is my camera, and I want to be able to see the same information that I just showed you on my camera. You know, that info window that I just showed you? Well, when I'm taking a picture, there's no way to see that. This picture here is just, there's no place here to see location. The location is once the picture has been taken, and that's where you get to see it. So if I want to go to my photos, you can either go to your photos by clicking on this guy right there, or you can go straight to your Photos app from your phone. Okay. Now it is a little bit different. If you go from your camera and you then click on this icon to go to your Photos app, it opens up in that photo that you are wanting to see. And then it's up to you to back out of there to go to your photos, but you go straight back to the camera. So this feature only leads you to the photos if you then go up here to the all photos. If you go backwards, you go back to the camera because it is like you were just taking a picture and you wanted to see it to see whether you need to take some more. Did it turn out good? Let me see. Was the light right? Was it not light? Okay, it's fine. I need to take more pictures. You go back there and you go back to the camera. But if you're like, no, 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 I just wanted to see my photos, then you click now on all photos and that basically turns on the Photos app. Does that make sense? Now, I could have gotten here all the way just by turning on the Photos app. So if you're not taking pictures and you're just trying to deal with your photos, then there's no need to open the camera and then click on this and then click on this to get to the photos. Does that make sense? A lot of times I find people doing that. It's like, I wanted to see a picture from yesterday. So they open their camera, then they click on that, then they click on photos. And it's like, the Photos app is right there. Go straight to your photos. Okay? So now that we're in your photos, what if I did want to see some of that information from one of these photos? What if I did want to go and see where this photo was taken? And this is the one that I just told you was in the Hollywood Bowl. But I happen to know that. I'm going to select it first. But what if you're seeing this picture and you don't know where this is? So now you're going to hold on to this photo and pull upwards a little bit. Just pull. Oh, there's something else that I just did. When you click on the just try to click on some unimportant part of the photo. I'll show you in a minute. And gently, it's not a big click, it's just a pull, just a gentle pull, okay? I'm not clicking and holding, I'm just gently pulling upwards. And when I do that, here it is. It's telling me all the info that we just got in that little info window. And it's not all of it, by the way. It's a little bit reduced. It's less you see in your camera, less than what you see in your computer. But you see the important stuff. You see the date, you see the time, you see the file name, you see the camera that took the picture, all of the camera information that you might or not care about, aperture and all that, and then you see the location. Now, both the time and the space can be adjusted right here. I can say, no, that wasn't the right day for any reason. If you didn't have it, you can adjust. Or in your case, Georgia, it's too late now. If you didn't have the location features turned on, the photo will have none. So it's up to you to go and put it on. So let me go to a photo that doesn't have location turned on, which is this one, which again is of that party that this is the woman whose daughter got married. But if I go upwards, there's no information. So in this case, it's going to say add a location.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and click on add a location, and I'm going to write Paris. And actually, it wasn't in Paris, it was outside of it. But right now, that's the best I can do. I'm going to get the actual address. It was in a big place. So I'm going to click on Paris, France, and boom, there we go. It gives me the general central point of Paris, which isn't precise. Once I do have the invitation, I do have the information, I will come in and just copy the right invitation here, and it'll pinpoint exactly the spot that it was taken. Okay, so now I know that this one was in Paris, but I had to add it myself. You can add it with area code, zip code, and it'll be very precise. But since I just wrote Paris, it just gives me some spot in Paris. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to pull down and it's gone. Now the time might or not been correct. I don't remember right now. I'll have to check the others to see if these all is when I downloaded them or if it's the day that the wedding happened. I don't remember. Um, I think this is when the wedding happened, but because I know I was already teaching. What does this one say? September 14th. So anyway, okay, so now when I do it this way on the phone, I just did it to one photo. One photo. Can I do it to many photos at the same time? Yes. Since I'm on the phone, I'm going to show you how to do it on the phone. But for those of you guys later, I'm going to show you also on the computer. But how do you select many of these and do it on the phone is more complicated. First of all, if I want to select more than one, if I go to one, it's one. I go to the next one, it's the next one. So it's like you can't see how to select many photos on the phone. But if you see up here the word select,
Mhm.
so I'm going to click on the word select. And now I'm in this mode called select items. And I won't see them big, but I will be able to select them. So I'm going to select this one and this one and this one. And I'm going to just do 3 at a time. I'm going to leave 2 more to do I'm going to do these 3 in the computer, but I'm going to select these 2. I could have done them all, right? But since I want to have some left to do on the computer, I'm selecting these 2. Okay. And then now I'm going to click on this little 3 dot icon. And this is like, what do you want to do with these guys? Do you want to favorite them? Do you want to copy them? Do you want to hide them? Do you want to show them? Or, ooh, I want to adjust date and time or location. And it's going to do it to 2 of them or 55 at a time, by the way, if I had selected 55. So I'm going to say adjust location. And now I'm going to say Paris. And since Paris, France is so well known, it just says Paris, but otherwise it gives you other options. And so now I have 3 of those photos have been labeled Paris. If I click on this one and I pull up, there again is the map of, and it says it's in Paris, okay? Now I'm going
And
to stop.
if you make a mistake while you're doing it, can you undo that?
Yeah, you can. Here, let me stop sharing this. You can do exactly the same thing right now. Here, well, let's just do it here and then I'll show you on the computer. I wanted to move on to the computer, but that's okay. Let me select this again and say that that was a mistake. I can select both again, go back in here.
Wait, how did you say it was a mistake?
I didn't. I'm
Oh,
going
okay,
back in. I selected them again, okay?
right.
So I said select them both,
Yeah,
and then go back. It's the same as if putting a date. It doesn't matter that it said Paris. It still says adjust location.
all
And if
right.
it wasn't supposed to be Paris, then I'll say that it was Egypt. I don't know.
Okay.
So let me go to and tell you that they were in Egypt. So now when I click on this photo and I pull up, it's telling me that I'm in Egypt. Okay? So
Yes.
all you need to do is change it. It doesn't know. Computer has no idea where these photos were taken because they didn't come with information. So it doesn't say, oh, you are wrong. As much as I told him it was Paris, now I told him it was Egypt. Who cares, right? So I just did it on the phone. Again, if you guys don't want to do it to any real photos, please go do it to those that you just took, those 3 or 4 photos of the floor, ceiling, whatever that I told you to take. The photos that truly we don't care if they get deleted. You will see when you pull up that it'll show your home if you had location services turned on, and you get to adjust and say that that photo, yes, your house is in Paris. Who cares? Go ahead and do that. Okay. Now I'm going to stop this share and we're going to do this exact same thing now, but we're going to do it on the phone. Sorry, on the computer. So now I've opened my computer and here is my information. And when I click on this photo now, guess what? It tells me it happens in Egypt. Yep, that's Egypt. And this one is telling me that it's in Paris. Okay. So now what if I want to change these and tell the computer that they're all in Paris? I'm going to select one, shift, and click, and now I've got all of them. See that?
Yes.
All of them. And what comes up here is that these are in multiple locations. They already have locations. Now, this one said it was Egypt. This one said it was Egypt. This one said nothing. This one said nothing. This one said nothing. And this one said Paris. So when I select all of them by doing shift, click, now it's telling me that these photos are in multiple locations, in Paris and in Egypt. You see that? I'm going to override that. I'm going to click here under multiple locations and I'm going to say Paris for all of them. Maybe I'm going to say Nice, comma, France. That way they all change. It wasn't in Nice, but never mind. There it is. Now I've made them all be in Nice. Okay. So when I click on this one, they're all in the French Riviera of France. Got it? Go ahead and put those photos of your floor and put yourselves on the top of the Chinese wall if you want. You know, you can change to your heart's content because those
Okay.
photos, it doesn't matter. These, I am not going to change. I do know that it was near Paris, an hour from Paris. I don't have right now the information, but it's more accurate than if I said it was in France, in Nice, and it's more accurate than Egypt. So I just made them all be in Paris.
I'm slightly behind, so I highlighted the ones that I want to say are home,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then
Now
uh,
get over here,
yeah,
say that you had no location on them.
right. Oh, it
Click,
says assign a location, right?
yeah. So now you select them and you click over here.
So
And
wait, do you do the assign first and then select,
you
or
first
select first and then assign?
have to select them because which ones are you going to assign, right? So you first select the photos that you want to assign a location
Okay.
and then you assign a location. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this location completely. So they'll have no location, right? So then when you select them, you need to assign a location. See that? But you first
Yeah.
have to select them.
Okay.
You
And so
give them a location.
I've got them selected and it says assign a location.
Okay, now type in your address,
Type it in. Okay.
the whole thing, comma, the address, number, comma, state, comma, 9310, whatever, right? Get the exact thing and it'll point straight to your home. Okay. So I'm gonna, in fact, this one here that has no location, I'm gonna say that it's at Wake campus. Oh, Wake campus, and it even knows the address of the Wake campus. So if it's a business of some kind, I don't even have to type 300 North Turnpike Road. I just wrote Wake campus, and there it is. I just gave that photo a Wake campus address. Okay. So did that work, Georgia? Were you able to assign
Yes,
your home location to your?
I did. I wish I could give it home as this address, which in the maps when you want to go someplace, it has something that just says home, like do you want to go home, etc.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the same way.
I wonder if you were to put your name in here. So let me put the name of a contact. I know that I've been using things like Iron Man.
Okay.
Uh, no, when I took I think I have Superman in my, I
Number.
know, no, it doesn't because I know I have addresses in my contacts that I wrote like that.
Right.
Doe, well, no,
So it's not
not
it's
connected
not
to
the
my,
same as your contacts or your
it's not. I
map.
didn't know I had to test it. I thought maybe, but no.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Too bad.
nice, right?
But
Wouldn't it?
now it's in there. Would it?
To say the truth, it makes sense. It would make sense for your personal photos, but consider that the way Apple and all computers think is that they assume that location for your photos is turned on. How many times when you take a photo of someone did it happen at their home? Like it's not a typical
Like
place.
my home.
Yes, the only one would be you yourself. So it would be nice if that could happen. But for the most part, if you have a picture with a friend, it's probably because you're at an event or at a party or, so yeah, it doesn't make too much sense that you would write the name of that person and have their address come up. But maybe, I mean, whatever, but it's not connected. Now we tested.
Doesn't matter. Now we know.
Yeah, now we know. Yes, Blas.
Yes, on my phone, excuse me. On my phone, I try to put an address into a photo and I put in home and then I want to lock that in as the address and I push adjust location and it won't take it. Other things that show up is the Home Depot and many different addresses of Home Depot.
That's
But
what we're saying. That's what we're saying, that in the Photos app, the word home doesn't direct you to your home.
okay, that's fine. But
Things
then
like
if I
Home
put
Depot,
low,
if you
okay,
put
but if I put in low, why can't I just accept Lowe's? Why do I have to accept choose one of their choices?
if you put Lowe's, you mean like the store?
Yes, but that's all I want to know because I know it's in Bakersfield, the Lowe's in Bakersfield.
So if I do Lowe's, because the only reason to put this in here is for we're going to show you why, but it matters what location because look how many Lowe's there are. There's one in Virginia,
Exactly.
one is in Oxnard, one is
No, no,
you're in Bakersfield right now, so it's showing you your Bakersfield address. So you can do nothing. You can just write Lowe's and it'll guess, but it won't like it wants to know the address, right? It really does want to know that. So
okay,
now look at how many Lowe's it's giving me. There's another in Academy Drive, there's another one in, you know, there's all these different Lowe's.
all right.
Choose one.
Okay, so I have to give it more information because it wants to give me the exact location. I
Yeah,
understand now.
if you want to just write it as, hey, I know this was in Lowe's, add it as a caption, it won't find the map. But if you use the location feature will find it on the map. Okay. So this is
Okay.
the final location. If you just want to remember that this happened at Lowe's, then just write it over there. This happened at Lowe's, whatever. Great. Okay.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
But if you put it in here, so now Wake, when I say just Wake, nothing's happening. I have to keep going. Wake campus, there's no other Wake campuses around, so boom, it found it. But that still says Lowe's because that is not connected to location, okay? So you can do that in any other place, but not in the locations. If you put it in locations, it's gotta be in locations.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, this photo in particular was a photo sent to me by a student when we were in last time I did this class when we were doing the whole share, send photos. And so notice that it has one extra item of information. It is saved from messages. This is a photo that was sent to me as a text. Okay. So this one does not say that, but this one here does because that was sent to me. So just so you know, these things are there. And I click on these. I guess maybe these were downloaded from Facebook then. Yeah, because these don't say that. I know that I downloaded some from Facebook and then some they sent to me, but I probably for this class I just brought in the ones that I downloaded. So it's not so I didn't have location or information on any one of them. Okay. How about this one? This one is the one that I know does not belong in August 23, 2025. It just doesn't. But when I tried to change it over here in the info window, like we did on the phone, it said adjust. Here, the date is not adjustable, at least in this window. The location was adjustable, but not the date. So we're going to head over to a different place to adjust the date. And I'm going to have to share my entire screen. And I'm going to go over here to image, adjust date and time. So I selected it. Okay. I select the photo that's wrong. I know it's not a 2025 photo. I go up to image, adjust date and time. I could have also just the location right here. For right now, I'm going to adjust date and time. And I'm going to tell it that this photo was taken in God, he was born in 2006. That guy looks like he's about 5, 4. So this was maybe 2010. So I'm going to just throw out that it's 2010. I'm going to leave the date as is. So I changed the original to the adjusted. It'll be adjusted by about 15 years. And I'm going to say adjust. So it disappeared. But no worries. If I now were to scroll all the way to 2010, there it is. It self-adjusted itself. It's actually probably a little bit later because this one here is 2011 and he looks younger than here. So let me adjust again and say that this was maybe 2012. There we go. Adjust, and now it appears over here, which is a bit more like it because that photo, he looks like this. Okay, I got it right-ish. Okay, so now hopefully you grabbed a photo of yours, again, one of your floor, your ceiling, or maybe you do have some photos out of sync like I did, and now you can go ahead and adjust the time yourself. Now, since I do want to have this one as a sample for the future, I'm going to go ahead and adjust that again. I'm going to give it the wrong date and time again. I'm going to say that it is a 2028. Remember what we said? How can you have a photo from 2028? Well, if I put the date in there, then of course I can, right? So the computer doesn't know the difference. I'm going to adjust that. And so now it's going to be one of my newest photos right there, taken sometime in the future because I'm magic. Okay. Blas, your hand is up.
Yes. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
That's one before. Okay, I'll lower your.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So was everyone able to change location and date of a photo? Both on your computer and on your phone? Give me a yes. If you have any questions about that, this is the time to ask your questions.
So I haven't been trying to do it on my phone.
Okay. When I show you on the phone, follow the phone. When I show, yeah, originally when I showed you how to select from the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. At that point, I noticed now that I didn't tell you guys to give me a yes. I apologize for that. My bad. I want to make sure everyone's always following. So you basically go to the select button and then choose the photos that you're choosing. And then in the phone, it just says adjust location or adjust time. I'm going to show you that really quickly one more time, just so that you can see that. And then we're going to move on to something else. So you go to the top word select over here. And this is not just for adjusting date and time. For so many reasons, we're going to select. This is an important one. When we want to share these photos with someone, when we want to, there's just so many reasons you select. So you select. And then you choose what you wanted to choose. So now, what am I going to choose? I'm going to go ahead and choose this keyboard right there. Oh, go to these three little dots right there. Tick. And now I can adjust location or date. Now, the reason I did that before is because I had many photos to select, and that's why I did it that way. But if you have only one photo to select, then just open it, like say cancel. We don't need to select that one. Just select it to watch it and then push up. And then you can adjust right here, date and time. Okay, so it looks like this keyboard I changed to say that I was in Paris, which no, I'm not. So I'm going to adjust from here. And I'm going to say that I am in, I'm just going to write 93101. That's all it takes for it to see Santa Barbara. Okay. And I'm not being very precise. I'm just saying that it was in Santa Barbara. And there you go. I got Santa Barbara. Okay. Map of Santa Barbara. I can also adjust the time. It says 2028. That's ludicrous. That was actually today. So I'm going to adjust to saying that I took it in, and I'm going to go over here. I took it in 2026, which that's not ludicrous at all to have taken it 1 year from now instead of right now. So now I have managed to change the time and date of this photo. If I do want, hold on, I did that too quickly. If I want to go see this place that this photo was taken, I just click on this map and the map opens up and there it is. I guess that's City Hall. When you say the name of a city, it takes you to the, no, Sola, what is this? I just wrote 93101 and it's taking me to Sola and between Bath and Della Vina. Okay, well, that's where somehow 93101 ends up landing. That must be the center of that area code. Okay. So now let's clear that circle. And now give me a yes if you were able to adjust photos, let me clear it, on your phone and on your computer. So the yes is for both. And if one of those didn't work, give me a no. Happy to help you with that. But yes is photos adjusted on phone and on computer. Are we good? All right. Cool. All right. So now let me head back. Well, actually, since I'm on my phone, let me stay on the phone for a second because I'm going to go back to the photos. I had left it. How about if we're now I have to like leave this little thing. I just need to kind of pull down again. Okay, so I pull up, pull down. It's like a drawer. You need to open and close. Otherwise, you can't keep moving on with your stuff. So here I'm back in this one photo. And now I want to go to all my photos. So I never, ever, ever, ever use this down here. But this would help me kind of scroll through the photos that I've just taken. Does that make sense? So you can do that if you have like 20 photos of being at the beach or 10 photos, you can do that. But I find it too finicky, so I personally don't use that, but I'm just showing you what that is. It's a way to go back and forth. Now, what if I really didn't want to do that and I wanted to see all my photos? Then I have to go over to this arrow, back out, and then I'm in my photos library, okay? And I can go up and down like that. Now, do you remember that in the computer last week I showed you how to make your photos appear as squares or as the right proportion if it's horizontal or vertical? But the default setting on the phone is actually squares. So how does that, change? So let's head over on the top right. I have some flowers there, but that's a little icon that you probably have just your initials or something. That's your account. If you click on that, it shows you, oh, well, that changed. This is your account, and it's not what I thought it was. So this is one of those that changed. Okay, so turn that off, and let's head over. How do I, from here, how do I change its view? Let's, I know it's there. It's one of these. View options. Okay, so go down to this arrow. It used to be on top. They moved it down to this arrow. Okay. You click on this arrow. You can go to view options and then you can do square photo grid. See how it went square? Which cuts some photos off, but it's really cute to, present your photos that way when you're sharing with someone or to see them yourself. And or go back to this arrow, view options and aspect ratio grid, which is a bit messier, but it shows you the entire photo. There's neither right nor wrong. It's just a choice. Okay, I'm going to clear your answer. So you get to choose which one you prefer to be on.
How do you say yes once you've clicked that? I mean, how do you get
On
off?
it, when you click on it, it changes, right? So if I click on this again and go to view options and just click on square photo grid, it changed.
Yes.
And then click on aspect ratio grid, it changes. So you don't have to say yes to anything. You just change it to one or to the other, to one or to the other. I'm just clicking on it one way or the other. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone give me a yes if you were able to change the aspect ratio, which I showed you on the computer the other day. And if you forgot when I get back to the computer, I'll show you again. But that's what that is. Again, you go to this arrow. Now, these double-headed arrows, why would they be there? Well, when you click on those double-headed arrows, it's how you view things. And Right now, I have it by default on sort by date captured. Sort by date captured is what happened and why this photo, which says it was, captured in 2026, is showing over here. If I say sort by added recently, then things have changed. Last night before coming to class, I added these photos of my friends in Paris and this photo of the Hollywood Bowl. I just added them. But this photo was taken in September or October. This happened in September. This, as we know, happened who knows when. But I just added them. Okay. A student of mine just added this, sent me this photo last week that I'm using for a brochure that we're building in the class that comes after this one. But look, it's a July 2019 photo, and yet it appears right here because I just added them. So if you ever wonder where did the photo go that I just added, for example, if you just scan them or something like that, or you just received them from a friend, and what if they sent you a photo that had metadata information and it was an old photo from 2012, you would go, where's that photo that I just, downloaded? My friend, it went all the way into 2012. You'll never find it again. So that's a way to find photos that were just added. Now, I prefer to see them by date captured, so I'm going to change that again to by date captured, and that I don't see that person playing the trumpet anymore. Does that make sense? The others, yes, because I did just capture them. Well, not really. The Paris photos went further back into September, but these are the ones that are in the bottom now. So it did shift how things were happening. Let's go back to those arrows and notice that there's a couple more things. I'm worried about these filters to have you leave them on, but I'm going to show you what these filters are. I'm going to click on filters. And you could choose right here to just see your favorites, for example. Click on favorites. And that's it. Only your favorites are showing. And you're like, where are all my photos? I don't know. It's because you chose to see only your favorites. Okay? So when you click down, you're seeing your favorites. I don't prefer this method of seeing things. It's new to this new version, and I'm going to show you down there where else I could have seen my favorites, but this is a quick way to see only your favorites. Now, the moment I move away from that, boom, it's now back to showing me photos by date captured. So pay attention. Look at my photos. My last photos are these two are favorited, a keyboard, some beach. Okay, so those are the photos that are by date captured. If instead I filtered and said to see my favorites, see how the beach is not there anymore? Yes, I still have these two because those two were two favorited ones, but then I don't see those beach photos anymore. You see that? Now, that's just because I said I wanted to see my favorites. The moment I just pull up and begin to see something else, boom, I am now back in seeing all my photos. Does that make sense? It just, that filter disappeared. It was a very temporary setting. Got it? If I go back in there and in the filter, I decide to see only my videos. And I go there. These are just my videos. These are any videos that I have, period. The moment that I just pull above that, boom, now I'm back to seeing my photos. Okay. So I'm not really sure how useful it is, but there you go. That's what those arrows do. I think the biggest utility is in the view options, right? Photo or square grid. Now let's go back to the view options, guys. Back in here to the view options, because I was showing you the photo or square grid, but there's a few other things that we can do in here. For those of you from whom this is too small and you don't want on your phone to be seeing things this tiny, you can now zoom in. So now you can see all your photos on your phone, only you can see them permanently just a little bit bigger. Or maybe you're seeing them too big and you want to zoom out and see them really tiny. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Now, if you zoom in a ton, which you can, it'll be really hard to scroll up and down and see every one of your photos, right? There's other better versions for that. But you can do that, especially when you forgot your glasses. So now I'm going to zoom out somewhere in between. I'm going to go back and leave mine in the default mode that the phone cam's in, but you can choose that different. And then you might want to say, do I want to see my screenshots? I do a lot of screenshots in my real phone of things that I see that I need to attend to later or whatever. If you just want to see them, you can have this check mark. Or if you don't want to see them, you don't have to. But you could also have your shared with you. So if people shared photos with me, I can see them here. So even if I didn't download them from the text or whatever, if I click on shared with you, it could be that they've been shared. Then doing this, they would be showing here. So you can have this one turned on or not.
Does it actually get it out of the text, out of your texts?
No, if you want to download them from your text, you have to download them. This is just showing them.
Right.
Okay. So that's just showing them. Now, there you go. That is the main page of the settings. There's more to that, but I'm just gonna go back to the computer now. Any questions about this before we go back to the computers? No? Okay, I'm gonna clear your answers and I'm gonna stop this share. And okay, now I'm gonna open up my screen and share again my computer. So this thing is kind of in the way. In my real life, I put it on the side, outside, but here to share the screen, if I put it on the side, you stop seeing it, right? So I keep having it here. But if I do want to not see it, it's just a matter of putting in this little I. Those are the like shortcuts. It's the Command I, in fact. Command I, Command I, Command I, Command I, brings it in or not. So for now, I'm going to move it out a little bit, but it's not that it's missing. It's just that I'm seeing it over here. So when I want to talk about it, I'll bring it back in here. But I consider this one should always be on. There's so much information on it that I like having it always on. But right now, I'm moving out of the way of the share to show you again where the things that I just showed you on the phone might be. And this here is where you can see how big or how, what aspect ratio do you want to see it as squares or as the full aspect ratio, meaning landscape and portrait. And then this here is where you made things bigger or smaller. Okay, and you can do it with little plus, minus, or you can just drag it around to the right size. So that's what those two are that I had just shown you. And over here is how you see the favorites, which is the other thing we had just shown you. Now, I haven't shown you much more. We're going to keep going through other details. But let's keep going over here. I'm going to undo this pink or the
So do you leave the info open all the time?
if I'm organizing and handling my photos, yes, I do. If I'm just trying to enjoy them, then if I'm clicking on this and I'm hitting the space bar to see it, then I can't really enjoy them, right? So I move it out of the way a little bit. But it's still on. If I share my entire screen, this is what I do. It's still on. It's just not in front of my photos. But I'm trying to avoid sharing all of this with you. So I'm going to keep it on, but I'm putting it just to the side. Does that make sense? I have it there, but I have it on. But so right now I'm going to share only this window so you won't see it. But so when I want to tell you about it, I'll bring it in. But otherwise, I do have it right there. I do keep it on. Yeah. All right. So I've taken you to library and all photos. That's all we've done. So what else is here? Well, I could see the photos in months or in years. So you know how I was every time I wanted to go to 210 or whatever, I was taking this over here and I was just scrolling all the way up to go to the da 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 da. Sorry, there I was taking you all the way up and down. Well, guess what? I could have just done years. And there we go. Scroll down to 2011. Double click. And here I'm in 2011. Does that make sense? So then it's much less scrolling around. You just go by the years, depending on how many years of digital photos you have, you go by the years. Now, once you get to the year, say that I get to this year, I want to see the photos of that year.
Right.
So I'm going to double click. And notice that up here, from years, it switched to months.
Okay.
Now I'm in year 2014, and it switched to months. Now, since this is not a very complete album, it looks like I only have that photo of 2014. I went quickly to 2015, but I have something in February, something in May, something in July. If this is a regular album, you probably have photos each month. Here's August 2015. Here's September 2015. Here's October 2015. Here's November 2015. Here's December 2015. And then I move into January 2016. So if I have an idea where a photo was happening, if you remember that this was a vacation you took in 2016, then you can go hone straight into it this way. And then once you found the month you want, if you then double click on this photo, then you see all the photos. Now you're in all photos mode in 2016 on that vacation. Does that make sense? So by kind of starting in years, finding the year that you want, then going to the month that you want, right? Oh, sorry, I'm at 2015, 2016, going to the month that you want. Then walking into that month, these are all the photos from that trip. If that worked for you, if you're able to kind of use the years, months, and photos to find something. So now target something. Go to years and think of, let me see, that wedding happened in, and go see if you can find the year, and then flip through the months. Now, when you go to months, you don't see all the photos. You just see a couple of samples. So even if, here it jumped and it showed me these two photos, but it might be that something happened in between and I didn't get to see it. So you were looking for this photo right there. Well, you won't see it when you're in months view. You're just seeing a little general idea of what happened in that month. So if you think it's about when it happened, you double click and then you start scrolling around going, okay, oh, here it was. Does that make sense? So were y'all able to find something using the years, months, and photos? Again, not something that was totally completely unknown to you because these are things that you have an idea of, oh yeah, that wedding happened in 2022. Let me scroll to 22 through the years, then go to months, and then go to all photos. It really works best when you're going to photos that are really old because it's not that hard to scroll up and down to 2022. This just kind of doing this and looking at these numbers. But if you're going many years back, it's easier to just do this, right? And then go straight to that. And then you go into that. And here we are at around 20. In this case, since I have here a few photos, this spans from 2009 to 2013. This little set of pictures, okay? All right, Josie and Rodney and Marta, how's that going?
Just as a reminder, I'm only able to facilitate it on my phone.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I only answer for that.
If I call your name though, every now and then, just say again, on my phone, just say that and that's good enough. But thanks for the reminder.
All right.
Owen, by the way, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you yet and I'm not seeing an answer. Just making sure that all's good.
Yeah, everything's going good.
Okay, so give me a little yes if you remember how to do that whenever I ask. That way that way I know everything is good. Otherwise, I kind of call on people to make sure that all is good. All right, I'm gonna share you on the phone. How do we do that same thing? So now I'm gonna reshare my phone. And here we go. All right, so here's my library, and the first thing that happens is that when I'm looking at my library, I see down here my years and months, right? So it doesn't say all photos, but it says all because it has less space, but that's the all photos. Now, I think this is a little bit different in the new phone. Let me check really quickly. Yeah. So if you have a phone, remember I told you that I wasn't necessarily updating this this version of the phone. So here it says years. Again, same thing. Months, same thing. If I go into, month, whatever, August 2024, then I'm seeing everything around that, and I've gone into all. But in the new version of of photos in the new phone, when you first open the app, in the bottom here, it's instead of since year, month, and all, it says libraries and collections. Does anyone have that? When you first open the Photos app, it says libraries and collections over here. It just says that to start with. So when you first go there, you have to first push down a little bit and then years, months, all appears. So if you see libraries and connections, just pull your finger around a bit and then the years, months, and all is going to appear. Okay, does anyone else see it the way I'm showing you, the libraries and collections? It's kind of hard.
I can't see it. I can't see your phone saying like the libraries and collections.
This phone doesn't have it.
Okay, okay.
But in my newer phone, my 2015, that's upgraded to the max, I am seeing something that says libraries and collections. That's the new version. So if you have a new phone that's upgraded to the max, you might be seeing the words libraries and collections. Okay? Does that make sense what I'm saying? If
Yes.
so, then how do you get to the years and months? You need to just grab your photos and just move them a teensy bit, and the years, month, and all appears immediately. Okay, that's just what I'm saying about that. You're going to move it up to go see something older, and it immediately opens up with years, months, and all. Just to clarify, I'm going to clear your answers. Who sees the libraries and collections? Give me a yes and who doesn't, just to see who has the newer version of the Photos app and who doesn't. Because some of the things that I was showing, I want to make sure that are the same.
You want people who do have libraries and collections?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing. It's just that when I showed you how to sort by on the old phone, I showed you these two arrows.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Most of you don't see it. Okay, so everyone who said no is seeing it just the way I showed it to you. But
Yeah.
Rodney is seeing the libraries out of collection. So for Rodney, when I showed this area of sorting and filtering, you would have to go to 3 lines that are up on top here. It's just so weird because I can't show you both phones at the same time. And on my personal phone, I have my whole different account, my personal photos. So the computer can't, if I connect my phone to it, it's going to want to download those photos onto this computer. So I'm going to see if I can consider sharing with my personal computer, the other one, when people start having they are going to update my phone. One of these days, I'm going to get a new phone from school and then it'll be updated. But it seems that for most of you guys, you are seeing it the way this phone is showing it. So Rod, if when I show something here, yours looks quite different and you don't find it where I show you, ask me and I'll do the parallel over on the side with my phone, okay? My personal phone, and then I'll tell you where to find it on yours. All right? Okay, I'm going to clear your feedback. All right. Cool. So, we're not going to do searches yet, but on the older version, the search is up here at the top. It's a typical search icon, right? And then on the new computer, on the new phone, the search icon is on the bottom. So it's not that it's very different. It's just that it's not in the exact same spot. Does that make sense? There's just things that show up differently. Okay. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to head back to my computer. All right, so back to my computer. Now, when I share my computer, this is very much the way it looks like on an iPad as well, for those of you who are looking at this on an iPad. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start going down the things that are here on this list. And this is the way it looks like in Sequoia. And it's not the way it looks like in Tahoe. Has anyone switched to Tahoe yet? No? Good.
You
Just
suggested that we do not do it yet.
yeah, I suggest that, but in case some people still shoot off and just do it, and I just wanted to make sure that no one here wasn't. See, if you are in Tahoe, things look different. And as of next year, when I teach this class, I'm going to have some people in, in spring, some people in Tahoe, some people in the old one. And I'm going to again have to be finding a way to share two different versions. But right now, this is still the way it's showing. Okay. So let me see. Hold on. Give me a second. I am opening this on the side for a second on the other computer so that I can see the difference. All right. So here on the left side, we already visited the favorites. It's up to you, but be careful. Don't click around this one. You might click on the heart and boom, it disappears. And how do you know how to get it back? Because who knows when this one was from? You know what I mean? When you're in the favorites mode, you can't just willy-nilly click on these things because then it goes back into whenever it was taken and you'd have to kind of come upon it again in order to put it back in here. So I'm just saying, be careful with that. So if I don't know when this one was taken and I just kind of click on it here, we're fine. Just shows me where it is. In fact, here with the info, it shows me it says Chicago, whatever. But the moment I click on this right here instead of here, I happen to click here, boom, it disappeared. And I'm like, oh, good thing I remember it was somewhere in Chicago. If that was an important one, I'll have to go find it. Does that make sense? Just when you
Would Command Z help at that moment?
there it is. In that moment, it does help. I Command C it and it came back. So if you're good at this undo, the undo is always so miraculous. Command Z, it undid that I took it off. So I'm going to take it off again. Ah, where'd it go? Command Z, it came back. Okay, thank you, Blast, for that reminder. But try to just not touch the heart. Just click anywhere else is safe. Just that one little tiny, tiny eighth of an inch is where you should not click if you want it to remain in the favorites. All right, let's move to the next one down. Map. So this is what I like about this location feature. First of all, these are different places that we've been. We've taken pictures in with my family. And then I've been there. And then I don't know, many times some of you guys know that in the summer, I'm from Argentina and I go down to Argentina. I teach from there when I visit my family. So I have photos kind of all over the world. If I scroll down, I have photos from all these different places. I believe I have some from New Zealand from when my kids were little. So anyway, there's photos everywhere. If I zoom in, so this is my zoomed out of North America. I have 3 spots. As I start zooming in, and I'm zooming in with my fingers pinching open, but otherwise I could go here to this little plus sign and minus sign to zoom out and in right there. Okay.
Oh,
If you have a mouse and you don't have a space, a tablet to pinch in and out, then you could go minus and plus over here. But then as I approach, it starts breaking down from 3 spots into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As I keep approaching, they're beginning to open up. See, so what used to be just some photos somewhere in the Southwest, now when I open up, oh, there's 3. As I keep opening up, now there's that many. Does that make sense? Because it keeps showing you what used to be just 3 spots in the United States or 4 spots. Now it begins to be more specific. And it tells you, here I have 47 photos in about this area. And then as I begin to approach, it's 11 and 8 and 7 and 21. And then when I approach even more, it wasn't 21, it was 14 and 7. Does that make sense? And then when I approach even more, it was, so much more specific, 5, 8, 1, 4, and 3. Okay? So it becomes much easier, much closer to pinpoint. And then when I get into Taos, suddenly there's, the different parts of the city of Taos, 5 there, 4 there, 2 and 2. Yes, Marta?
What if you want to share a photo with someone, but you don't want the metadata to be shared? Can you do something about that?
Yeah, for the most part. Oh, look at that. My info is in the share window right now, I'm noticing. When you share it, I'm not working on sharing right now. I will, but there is I believe there's a way to tell it not to share that info, or maybe it's automatic that it doesn't share. I'm not remembering right now.
Well, I was just looking at a photo that my nephew had shared, and he's in Texas. I was surprised that the metadata showed up for, I mean, all of the information, including the exact location. So that's what prompted my question.
Sometimes it shares and sometimes it doesn't, and I don't know exactly right now how that to make that distinction. It depends on what phone sent it, what operating system sent it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm actually gonna make a note right now, and I'm looking for my notepad. That's here. I have some notes. I used to have it here on top of my desk. I don't know where they went. And I'm actually gonna look into that because it is different if you're on an iPhone or another phone. Okay. So if it's been shared through social media, then definitely the metadata doesn't stay. But when you share as a straight message or as a straight email, there is a way to take it off. And I don't remember right now where that is. So I'll look it up. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just curious.
Yeah, no. It's a great question
I
because
mean, if it was
you don't want everyone to know all the details of everything. Of course not. In
exactly.
fact, and again, I've only had in my 20 years of teaching, only twice have I felt anything slightly creepy coming from students. And so I want to just share why when you look at here photos of people in my house, I have hidden the location. It just felt a little bit strange because these videos do get recorded and they do get put to the top. And if you were to go into my photos of my iLife my video of my iLife class before, you could see exactly where my house was. So now I'm a little bit more careful about that. But that's the only reason. In my real life, I don't care. But if I go into Santa Barbara, I have photos from all these different places. And as I zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, it starts becoming much more all over the place. Does that make sense? And then as you keep zooming in, even more, and so on and so forth. And I believe this is the Wake campus. And yeah, I have 9 photos of in and around the Wake campus. So I finally got myself to a place where I want to see these photos. So if I double click, hello, they're not opening. That's interesting. It just keeps letting going inner deeper and deeper, but it doesn't. Why is it not taking me to those photos that from my memory, it used to? Well, no, I guess it just takes you into the map. That's interesting. Okay, so if I want to see those 9 photos, it's not opening them up based on location, but it used to. So what's
Mine did. When I double clicked, it opened up.
Yeah.
it should. Otherwise, there, finally, I don't know, maybe I was just clicking. I have the Wacom pen. Okay, so now here we go. I clicked on places and now it shows me all the different photos that were taken at the Wake campus, right? Which are, there's a screenshot. These are 2 or 3 different photos in the computer lab. Okay, so thanks. I was like, what's wrong? Why is this not working? It definitely should have taken me there. Okay. So once but at first it keeps zooming further in because there's more to break up. But then once you're there, it opens up and it shows you those photos. Okay. Let me back out of maps. So that's kind of cool if I were to want to go and see, oh, the photos of my trip when I was here, my photos of my trip when I was there, my photos of my trip when I was somewhere else. Just double click and there I go. All right. I'm going to back out. Recently saved. This is what we saw on the phone, right? Where we had a choice to see what was recently saved versus what was in my library. And so recently saved would be photos that just were brought into my computer. And so I told you I put these photos in there last night, the photos of the wedding in Paris. I also just brought in from my phone these photos of this beach walk. I believe this was a couple of days ago, and this was last week and the week before. So just a couple of different beach walks from November in general. This is November 7th, and I'm looking over here at the info, okay? This one's November 7th, and this one is October 16th. And the reason November 7th is in front of October 16th is because, who can remember now? What am I looking at? So this is
That's
October and this is November, okay? This is October, this is November. Why is it inverted? Colette, I hear your I see your mouth, but I don't hear you.
It's recently added.
Exactly. This is recently saved, and I brought them in. First, I put in November 7th into my computer, and then I put in October 10th. Now, this is because I'm bringing them from a different phone. This someone sent me for my class, and then this I just added at the last minute from
right.
one of those like phone memories that pops up from my other phone. So in this case, and recently saved, the order is inverted. It doesn't make sense. If I go to the libraries, it does make sense. Those photos will be in the order in which they were taken. The October ones are ahead of the November 7th. Okay. So just make sure that the recently saved, you understand. And by the way, I can't drag and put this one somewhere else because it doesn't, it's in the order in which I saved them, period. I can't say, oh, but I'd like the sunset next to that sunset. I can't. Same with the library. If I want this sunset next to that sunset, I can't. I can't move them. In the library, they stay where they are because the library and the recently saved will show you things based solely on when they were shot, and this one solely based on when they were added to your computer. Not added by your phone because you took them, but added from somewhere else. These are photos that come from somewhere else. Saved from, in this case, I've sent them from my real phone to here. This one was texted to me. This was texted to me. This one was texted to me. Okay. So that's why they have been just recently saved versus in the order of which in which they were photographed. This I took in class the other day. Remember, I took a picture of my hand. I said, "Oh, look, take a picture of yourself in your place." So that is from last Wednesday's class. All right. Now, what if I did want to have this photo next to that one, or this photo next to that one, or this photo next to that one because they match, they work. I want my sunsets together. Then you have to create your own personal album and you can move them to your heart's content. So I don't have many albums here because this is where I teach, but I do have some. I'm going to delete some or whatever. But for example, if I click on, I don't know, I see something here. It says class photos. And if I look at these class photos, this is an album I made sometime in my life. Now I can say, well, I'd rather have this one next to that one, and this one next to this one, and that one next to that one. Ah, it's fine. It does not matter when they were taken. It's just a matter of me saying, oh, I think these two go together, and these two go together, and those three go together. So in your own albums, you can do whatever you want. They're not, they are chosen because you say, these are the photos that I choose to show, and you can do whatever you want with them. It's just in the library where you can't move them other than in the order in which they were captured. All right, all good with that? Now we're going to talk about albums, so I'm not going to leave you in the dark, but we're just not making them up. So if you don't have an album, then just hang in there. But if you do have an album, then you might understand what I'm talking about by playing around in there. I'm not going to do an album yet. I'm first going to keep working down All of the stuff that the computer does to organize your photos. Albums is what we do to organize our photos. Keywords is what we do to organize our photos, so those come later. Right now, we're just kind of checking out, well, what else? Well, what comes next is recently deleted. Now, you might or not have the recently deleted here. You might or not have the recently saved. Depends on whether you saved any photos. If you didn't save any photos from messages into your computer, you won't have recently saved. If you never deleted anything yet, you won't have anything in the recently deleted. It's only keeps, the recently deleted keeps the last 30 days of your photos. So if you deleted something 2 months ago, it's gone from your computer. But if you deleted it within the last month, you can go into your recently deleted and still see them. But in case you deleted them so that people couldn't see them, then you have to unlock it. Okay? If your computer has Touch ID and it's enabled, you can do that, or you could enter your password. Since this one does have Touch ID, I'm going to put my finger right there on the uh, on the uh, do I not have it on Touch ID in this computer? I'm going to click on View Album, Touch ID. So here are photos that I just deleted. I brought in a couple of photos that from yesterday. I decided to delete them. This, I deleted them yesterday. So it says I have 29 days left. Yesterday they said 30 days left. Today they say 29 days left. Now on purpose, I deleted some other stuff last week. So these photos have 24 days left because a whole week has gone by already. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Next week, this one will have only, 16 days left. And this one will have 22 days left or whatever, a week from now, right? And so on and so forth. And when we get to the point where they have 1 day left, then they are gone from my computer. Now, what if I didn't mean to get rid of it? What if I did want this photo? So this is a photo I took the other day in class as well. What if I really, really wanted this photo? Well, I can select it. I didn't mean to trash you, so sorry. I can select it and I can recover it. So I'm going to hit the recover. And it's gone now. I had 2 of them, so I'm going to recover that one too. So there you go. The face of me is gone. I use photos that are recognizable. I have recovered it. I didn't mean to delete it. Sorry. Boom. I've recovered it. What if you, on the other hand, don't want it to stay there? You deleted it for a reason and you really don't want it to still be there. So you don't want to wait 24 days. So you can select it and say, just delete it. And I'm going to hit delete one photo. Are you sure you want this to delete permanently? Yeah. Delete it from all my devices. Boom. That one is gone and lost forever. Does that make sense? These will slowly degrade over time. Now, if I deleted them because I needed space on my phone, then I want to wait a month, right? So then I can just delete them all right now and they'll be gone right now. So just because I deleted them, I don't need to have them in my deleted folder for a whole month. Hi, Linda. I can just delete them all right now. Now, I don't want to do that to many of them, but I do want to do that to quite, I did delete a bunch of photos the other day because I had way too many. So I'm going to delete a ton of these. So look at all the stuff that I cleaned up from this album the other day. I made a mistake and put some photos in here that didn't need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and select from one end of the list, and I'm going to go all the way down to here. And that's 910 items that I deleted the other day that I really don't want here anymore. So now I'm going to delete those selected ones. See how I did that? I said the click, shift, click, but I did it to 900 items. Delete 900. Are you sure you want to delete 910 items permanently? Yeah, delete this from all my devices and boom. Now that's a lot less stuff. I have quite a few videos in there. I have a bunch of stuff that I didn't necessarily need to have on this phone, on this computer, that I deleted on purpose. Now, most of the times we don't delete that many from our phone, but now and then you're doing a purge. You might. So now I'm left with just these photos that I can keep or delete for a while left, and most of these will stay for 24 days. until I come here and do another demo of that. So I want everyone to go to your library, and those photos that we just took today, please delete it. So I just took this photo. I'm going to, this one the other day in class, I'm gonna delete it. How do I delete it? Well, I can either hit the delete key. That's one option right now. I can just click and hit the delete key. Fine, okay, I can do that. Or I can also do a right click and hit delete one photo, and you can do that. I can also, I believe, I don't think so, but I could drag it to recently deleted. Yeah, I can drag it to recently deleted and leave there. Or I could select it and go up to the very top image, I believe, delete one photo down there. Anyway, I've shown you 4 or 3 ways. I like to just hit my delete key. This will be deleted from your iCloud's photos and all your devices. It warns you. It will be in recently deleted for up to 13 days. I'm going to hit the delete key and boom, it's gone. Now, if that was good, no problem. But if that was a mistake, everyone please delete a photo or 2. I'm going to just delete this one from here. So I just deleted 2 photos from my phones. When I decide, oh no, one was really important, I shouldn't have deleted it, I go over to my recently deleted, which I had just unlocked, so it's still there. And there's my photo. Phew, I didn't mean to get rid of it. I can select them both and I can recover those 2 photos or delete those 2 photos. Once they're selected like that, I can do either or. I'm going to choose to recover them. And so now in my libraries, there they are, the 2 photos, the hand photo and the keyboard photo. Phew, they're safe. I'm so glad. Okay, so I want everyone to go and delete photos and add them again, even if you didn't create a trash photo, like I said, of your keyboard, of your floor, of your living room ceiling. At the very least, know that even if it's a good photo that you're deleting, I'm going to delete this one. Yikes, not only is it a good photo, it's a favorited photo. I'm going to delete it. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm going to delete it. When I go back to my recently deleted, phew, I can still recover it. It didn't really go away yet. So I can recover it. And guess what? It maintained its recently deleted fact. So when we have photos in an album and we delete them and we recover them, they maintain their memory that they were in that album. So they go back into your albums as well, if you happen to delete something that's in an album. For those of you who already know about albums, if you don't know about albums, we'll get there. All right. How are we doing, guys?
Good.
Let me look at the time. Oh, good. We're almost, not yet. We're not at the middle yet. Give me a yes if you were able to delete and recover, delete and recover. Let me stop my share for a little bit. And yeah. All good? Yep. I'm seeing yeses everywhere. Okay. So let's head over to our phones and let's do some deleting and recovering from our phones. So I'm going to head over to my phone and share my phone. All right. So a lot of us handle our photos from your phones. Okay. So now I recovered them and I put them back in here again so that I would have those photos available to delete again. And here they are. Here's my hand photo and here's my keyboard photo. And then I also, this one that I deleted all 3 of those in the computer. But I already recovered them. I forgot to show you in the moment that I retrieved them from my computer, when I looked at my phone, they were already gone from my phone too, okay? But since I recovered them, they're back in my phone. So how do I delete them from here? Well, one at a time, I can just click and hold. So I'm going to click and hold this photo, just one, and turns out I can do a bunch of stuff to it. When I click and hold and it pops in, I can just do copy or share or unfavorite because it's favorited. I could duplicate it. I could hide it. I could add it to an album, or I'm going to delete it. Boom. I'm just going to delete it. This photo will delete it on your devices all 3 days. Yep, no worries. Delete photo. Even though it was a beautiful photo and I didn't want to delete it, I did. Now, what if I want to delete many at a time like I did before? Then who remembers how to select many things at a time? We did it before. when we tried to adjust the date and location.
Hit your select up at the top.
Yeah, hit the select at the top. There we go. Then I'm going to select this one and that one. So now I want to delete those two. I'm going to add that one too. I'm going to delete these three. Okay. And conveniently enough, one of the things I can do with selected photos is put them all in the trash. There's a little trash can. So I can just click on the little trash can and the same message again. These will all be deleted from all your devices. Are you ready to delete them? Yep, delete 3 photos. Now, I really want people to pay attention to this sentence. There are still people who operate like we used to in the very, very, very olden times, who, when your phone got full, you just deleted photos from your phone and your phone got lighter. You'd go, oh, it's okay. They're already in my computer. I can get them off my phone. That's in the past. That's when people didn't have the cloud. So of all the people in this class, sometimes there's someone who doesn't have their photos in the cloud, then it's a different issue. But if your photos in the cloud and you delete them from here, you are deleting them, as this says, from all your devices. So you deleted it from here, it's going to leave your phone, it's going to leave your computer, it's going to leave your iPad, it's going to leave the iCloud.com. It's one photo displaying itself on many devices. I just want to repeat that again and again so people don't keep thinking, well, my phone is full, I'll delete them from here because I saw them on my computer. Nope. I'm going to say delete these 3 photos right now. And when I go to my computer, they will show up as deleted, and I will have to recover them from the deleted and my computer as well. But since we already did that, I'm going to show you instead how to recover them from here, from the phone. So now I've deleted them and I go, oh God, no, those were really good. I didn't mean to delete those photos. Ah, what a mistake I made. So how do I find them? I'm going to start scrolling down, 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 down. And here is a whole bunch of stuff, here. The albums, here's recent days, people and pets. We haven't visited them all, so we'll slowly start visiting them all. Memories, we're just going to ignore everything. We're going to keep going down, 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 to utilities, to recently deleted. Okay. So now in my recently deleted on my phone. Now, if you have in your Photos app on your phone is the newer one. Hold on, I need to open my newer phones app. If you want to go there, you can't just pull down, you have to go into collections. And in the collections, you'll be in this exact same spot and you can go down to your recently deleted photos. Okay, so now I'm gonna head over to my recently deleted and gotta put my face in front of it, hit view album, face ID, and here I am. These are all the photos that I want to delete. Remember, I still had a bunch. And whoops, recently deleted. Sorry, I need to put my face in front of it again. And here are the 4 that I just deleted at the very top, the ones that still have 29 days to go. Oh, I'm so glad they're not gone. I can select this one and recover only this one. Down here, do you want to permanently delete it or you want to recover it? Careful, big choice here. No, I wanted to recover this one. Phew, recover photo, right? Or what if I wanted to do 3 at a time or 10 at a time or 15 at a time? Then I have to select again. So I'm going to select these 3. So where's the recovered choice? Well, with those 3 selected photos down in the 3 little dots, it's always about 3 little dots is more. If you don't see it here, go to 3 little dots and you can either recover or delete. Phew, I'm going to recover. Cover 3 photos and boom, they're back. Now I'm left with only my 29 days. And I can just leave the recently deleted album and go out of here back into my photos. Okay, so to go back into my photos when I'm way down here, how do I do that? I have to scroll all the way back up and here are my photos. Okay. All right. Any questions about any of this? Let me clear your answers. Were you all able to go into your deleted, delete something from your phone and from your computer, go into your recently deleted in your phone and your computer, save and recover, or delete permanently from your phone and from your computer? And if all of that is yes, give me a yes. any hesitation, any questions, this is the right time to ask.
I do have a question, or not a question exactly, but I would like to know if there is a way to have a different collection of photos in your phone your versus your computer. Is there some way of having because I I would I have a lot more space. I think actually I've got more space on my phone now. It used to be that I had a lot more space on my computer. Um, and I was thinking that I'd like to put videos on the one that has the most memory and not in the other one. Is there some way to do that?
Well, unfortunately, no, but the answer isn't all negative. No, ever since you've had, let me just stop my share. Ever since you have the cloud set up,
Yeah.
you're going to have the same things on both. But remember what I believe you were here last week when I showed you that you can choose the little check mark to say keep the originals in the cloud and
Yeah.
don't download them. So what you can do on your computer is make sure that that's checked so that your computer does not have the weight of all those videos
Okay.
in your computer. But the organization and all that, you basically know everything you see is the same everywhere. You just need to make sure that they're all in the cloud and they're not really occupying that big space on your computer nor on your phone. Okay.
Okay. Well, again, the other thing
Do you
that,
remember where that was? Where to check on that?
no, I don't.
Well, let me just really quickly share this computer since your concern is about the computer space.
Yeah.
So here we are in our computer.
Yeah.
We're going to go into your photos settings,
Yeah.
photos settings. And over here, it says general iCloud and shared. We're going to go into the iCloud. We're going to make sure that you have optimized Mac storage. If your Mac is low on space, full resolution photos videos are replaced with smaller device sized versions. Full resolution versions can be downloaded from the iCloud. That way you don't have all the big stuff on your computer.
Okay.
But you see them, but they're not there. They're not occupying all the space. Okay. Hopefully that helped someone else too. But that's where you would do it. In the phone, you have to do it from the general phone phone settings, from the, not just the camera photo settings, but from the computer, you do it from the photo settings. Okay. That same choice on the computer that's in the photo settings on the phone is in the actual phone settings in the Photos app inside of the phone settings. It's a little bit different place to find it. Okay, it's time for break. So now we're going to go to the chat and let's see. Everyone who joined us later, make sure to go into the chat and give a little hey ho if you haven't yet done that. But meanwhile, let me count 15 minutes from now. It's 2:53. Can somebody help me here? 2:53, that puts it at
7 after.
3 plus 3 after. Okay. So be back at 3:08 by now. That's true. 3:08 p.m. Okay. It's 2:54. Okay. So I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. I'm going to mute you guys so you can make all the noise you want. See you in 15. All right. Come on back. Those of you who turn on your videos, please do so. And those of you who don't turn on your videos but are here, give me a yes so I know that you're back. And let's keep going. All right. And I'm going to say that again because I cleared your answers. So if you're there, but you don't turn on your videos, give me a yes. That way I'll know you're there. Okay. Let me share my screen. Any questions came up during break perchance? No. Okay, then I shall share my screen. All right. So, we've covered all of these guys over there. Then I have this thing called devices because my phone is plugged in, and that's only so that I can share it on Zoom. So normally I wouldn't have to have it plugged in order to like use my computer, but I could click on it, and it basically shows me the photos that are on my phone, and I can import, but there's nothing available to import because I am using I have already imported all my photos. Okay. But if you were to bring in a card from your camera, right, from your DSLR, a smart card, and you would put them in, it would show up right here. You would plug it into your computer, and under devices, it would say whatever the name of your card is that you brought in from your memory card from your camera. And it would say, these photos still have to be imported. Do you want to import them? And you would say yes. Now they say already imported because I have them already imported. But if I had any non-imported, like in my card, they would show up here. Okay. So I'm going to move on because there's nothing to import. But if there were, they would say, do you want to import these? And it would show me, and I would select them, and I would say, yes, import. All right. Now, the next thing that comes up is this thing called collections. In the future, and in the phone, in the future as well, and in the Tahoe, the word collections is going to be up here instead of photos, and we're going to have library or collections will be the two choices. Right now, collections is still showing down here, and the computer, Apple, is choosing what to show. In the next version of photos, under collections, you get to choose what you want to see under collections, because some of you might never care about some of these, and some of you might. So you get to kind of pick and choose what you show in there. Not yet. In this version of the photos, what's here is here. And what we see under collections, the first thing we see is days. Now, days has always seemed a little bit useless to me. And in fact, I guess I was right because in the Tahoe version, they got rid of it. It is kind of useless. But um, in case you want to go by days, then at the top is the most, and it also it's inverted, like in library, your newest stuff is at the bottom. But in days, your newest stuff is at the top. And it only shows when you did more than one photo per day. So these items all show up because remember, this is my friends. If I double click on this, it opens up to that set of photos because they all happen on the same day. And this one opens up because 4 photos were taken that day. But about all the in-between days when I took just one amazing photo, well, no, this is only going to show up if you took many photos or more than one photo in that day. So if you want to see the individual ones, you still have to go to the library where I have one photo in a day. So I don't know, this whole days thing I don't get, but if it helps you in any way to find something by days, it's there for you. It will not be there in the future, just so you know. Just telling you. But don't get too attached to it because they probably had the same thought I had, and I never gave them my feedback, and yet they seem to have gotten to that same idea. So if you go to your phone, the moment you scroll down from your all your photos, you'll see that there. Hi, Kristen. Nice to see you. So we just finished our break, so you're coming in just in time for the new stuff.
In my car, but
Okay. Then don't look, be safe. Just listen in. So anyway, here's my phone. And in my phone, here's the library that I was telling you. And the moment I start pushing up, the first thing I have is a shared album, which in the future you can choose what you want to see first or next. In this phone, it isn't. It's telling me that I have a shared album thing, something someone joined, and it's the 12th of August, and she's actually in this class. She's not here today, but she was in the summer class too, and she joined a shared album, and that's what it's saying. And then I go down to recent days, and there we go. Here's my days. This is the same thing that I just saw on the computer. Again, kind of useless as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. There it is. Then in the phone, we get to albums. Then in the phone, we get to people and pets. I'm going to talk to you about these things. Then we get to collections, in which case, this is what we saw at the computer at the beginning. We saw favorites, recently saved, map. Okay, so there's just things that you get to choose what you want to have on top. And you can even modify which collections to pin. Then we have memories. Then we have trips. Then we have featured photos. So all of this appears on the sidebar. It's the stuff that I'm showing you on the computer on the sidebar. On the phone, when you end up, this is the rest of your photos. You're done with your photos. You keep pushing up, pulling up, pushing up, and then you start seeing them all. So here are all the albums that I own, that I've made, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with these in mind, I'm going to now show you on the computer where all of these names, if they sound familiar, where they all appear. So I'm going to go back to my computer now. And everything I just showed you on the phone is what's showing down here. Now, some of you guys might, I don't think so, but you might have these collapsed like this, where you see just, devices or collections or even photos. I don't think so, but in case you do, yes, these can all be collapsed. If you hover over the word photos, on the right side, a little arrow pops up, and that's where you see what was under photos. Same with devices. If you click on that, it opens, and same with collections. Now, that arrow is not there right now. It's empty there. But if I hover my mouse over it, then it appears and I can open it. Okay, and I can open it. So these are all things that could open or close, just in case you're not seeing them and you're wondering where yours are. Same thing. Down here, this is a general collections choice. But then if I hold down here, I see an arrow on the left side instead of on the right. And that one is because if I click on utilities, I can open my utilities. And I'm going to close it again. And I would click on media types. I can open and close my media types or open and close my albums. So these are all something you can control. And if you have them all open, then you've got a long list of things here on this side. And if you have them all closed, it might feel like you don't have a lot of stuff, right? But it's all collapsed into these albums. So I'm going to start going with from the top down, and then we're going to get into that area. So now days you already saw. The next one is people and pets. Now, some people have never used their people and pets, and so this is empty or is just kind of like has a question mark, right? And others have used it a lot. So let me show you what it means. I have something called groups up there, and I have people and pets. And then depending on how much you have already trained your album to use this, whether it's showing you or not names and people. So how many of you, let me clear your answers. How many of you, when you went into people and pets, are you seeing things with names and things that are grouped? How many of you are seeing some of that? Okay. So Marta, Georgia, and Blas, you seem to have some stuff. Owen. Okay. So most of you seem to have something. Now, the way this works, notice that I have here some that have a little heart. It's because by hearting them, they appear at the top. So say that I were to click a little heart on Gloria, suddenly she pops to the top. If I turn the heart off, she goes down to alphabetical order. Okay. Not They don't necessarily need to be in alphabetical order. I have sorted them alphabetical order. You go over here to sort, and you can choose to sort by name, or you can sort by custom order, and there's all these different choices, right? But I'm going to sort them by name. That way it's easier for me to see people when I look for them just by name. So if I want to go just at the very top, I put the most important people with a heart. So I don't have to sort them by name. So that's me, my husband, my kids, my mom, my dog. And then the rest, starting with A, C, C, D, B, da, 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 go all the way down. Okay. Now, at some point, you stop seeing names and then you see some faces without names. At least I do. I don't know if that's you, but I have some faces with no names. That means that my computer found some faces that haven't yet been named, or I still have more that are not named here because I haven't named in the past that I could still name. I can find names in different ways. In this case, the computer is letting me know that these 4 faces here, it still needs to figure out who they are. I'm going to clear your feedback. Rodney, you didn't answer on that one. I know that some of you guys have either taken this class before or have used it before. I'm going to just show you a couple of the options, but a lot of this is better if I show it with someone else's computer, because mine is so trained by now that there's not much more to train it. But I did just add a photo of Vicky, and you might not know that, but in the photos that I just mentioned that came from Paris, there she is. This is that same person, right? Oh, and notice how interestingly enough, the computer already found her, because look, see how it gave her a name, Vicky, versus the rest are unnamed? I didn't do that. I just put this photo in the computer yesterday, and it already has her name. And that's because I had named her here already. So when I go and double click on her to see what photos she's in, look, it's already incorporated these photos that I added yesterday. It already figured out that she's in 3 of these. See that? That one, and that one. The computer recognized her. There it is, Vicky Rios. I didn't name any of the other people. And that's actually not right because, in fact, this person is also already named, but my computer hasn't figured it out, and it's this person. And in fact, here she is again. So somehow this person isn't being registered by the computer. If I double click on this one, it's not showing, she's only showing me her face in this one. It's not showing me that other one. So since I happen to know that I have a photo of her, where did I say she was in this one? Could be because it's so tiny. She doesn't even seem to have received a circle for a name, versus these have circles for names. Now, when it says named or unnamed, where am I seeing this? When we went to the view metadata, one of the things that we put in here under the meta, not we didn't we put in the titles, keywords, and that stuff, but nothing here says names. Where do we find these named or unnamed circles? It's right here in the hide face names or show face names. If I say hide face names, I don't see face names. If I say view, show face names, then when the computer knows who they are, like Vicky Rios, she puts it in. When they don't, she gives me a circle of unnamed, or sometimes it's too small to even recognize it's a face and there's nothing. So if you wonder where I'm getting these circles of named or not named, it's like over here. This one says mom. This one says unnamed. This is a student who sent me this picture. I don't know who these people are. So there's a circle of unnamed. If I want to see that, it's the hide face names, show face names feature. Okay, view shows face names feature. So if you turned it on, you could choose to give these people names now. I'm going to go ahead and I don't know who these people are, but I do know who some of these people are. So I know who this person is, but this person doesn't appear in my names. I've never had a photo of her. So she isn't a pre-named person. That's what I'm trying to say. If I didn't name her, the computer doesn't know who she is. So it's up to me to name her. So I'm going to go to this photo and I'm going to name her. Watch what's going to happen. This is Sylvia. And first, let me just show you one more time. I'm going to write S. And when I write S, names appear of people who have already been named in my people and pets. Anyone who might have an S in their name. Isabella, Dustin, Sanchez. I mean, it's really pushing trying to find. Now I go SI and it immediately goes blank because there is no one in all of my existing people and pets that has an S and an I next to their names. Like there's no other Sylvia or Isabella or you know what I mean. There's no IS anywhere. So when I tried to name her, it just started at S and then it just went, okay, I nope, don't know anyone. So now it's up to me to name her. So I'm going to name her Sylvia. And once I'm done naming her Sylvia, if I had her in my phone book, in fact, let me go ahead and show you that. Let me hit escape. If in my contacts, for those of you who have taken my class before, say that this person here is Jane Doe. I'm going to write Jane Doe. If I have Jane Doe in my contacts, which I happen to have a Jane Doe 3 times, it's one of the ones that I use as samples of duplicates. So let me go back to more like Iron Man. I only have Iron Man in my app, in my contacts book. This is true. I have her in my contacts book, him. And so it shows me this from my contacts book. It's not from the people's and pets. It's from the fact that I have this person in my contacts book. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Iron Man. And from now on, this person is Iron. And when I go to people and pets, I have a new named person under the I. She's Iron. And who does it refer to? It refers to the Iron Man that I have in my contact books. Does that make sense? So if you don't have someone in your contact books, that's not going to help you. But if you do, then it's going to be helpful. So now, is everyone doing some of this? Going to a photo that has many people and seeing circles and trying to name them? Of course, if they're people that don't matter to you, don't bother trying to name them. But if they are people that matter, you might want to try to name them. Now, this is my fake, these are all people I do know. But since this is my fake uh, phone, this is my fake setup that I'm teaching you guys. I don't care that I'm giving them fake names. And this will be Wonder Woman. There it is. I had Wonder Woman in my contacts. We just put her in the last Mac level 2 class. So now I have Iron Man and Wonder Woman in here. Where did that come from? From the fact that I had her in my contacts. And when I started writing the word Wonder, it just popped down that choice. And now Wonder Woman has a face. Okay? Another place where these names are appearing or these words are appearing is in here. It's saying that it's finding all these faces. Now I'm going to go back to my library and choose this photo here. And in this photo, I'm seeing that there's 4 little circles in my info window. This one, when I hit the space bar, yeah, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I hover over these, it doesn't have the name in the info window, but it has faces. So I can click on this one and I could give this person a name, right? And see how it became a circle. Or I can click on this one and see how it became a circle, or this one. So when you click on them here, the little circle appears over their face. Okay. Now, if I had another face that wasn't named, I would add it. So in this example, was it this one? No, this one. I told you how it recognizes all of these things as unnamed, but it recognizes them. But then back here, there's 2 faces that aren't circled. So I'm going to add them. I'm going to click a plus sign. So this little circle appears neutral, and I'm going to put it over this face, and I'm going to reduce it a bit because it needs to be not on the whole head, but just on the face, because that's the part that the computer chooses to see. The hair, people change their hair all the time. So it really wants to just see the particulars of the face to then tell you, oh yeah, I recognize this person. And then I can name this one. I'm going to name this one Cel, and there it is, Selmira. And I click on that and it's like, oh, okay, I recognize Selmira. That is someone who's in my phone book. And here's another face that's unnamed. I'm going to click on the little plus sign. It shows up here in the center and I'm going to make it, I go to this little circle here to make it a little bit smaller, to put this little guy in there so that I can click them to name them. But right now, I'm going to call this one. Now this one, Sylvia, does not appear in my phone book. So when I write Sylvia, this is actually her real name, I have created a new person that doesn't exist. So if I go to people and pets, now if I go to the S, there she is, Sylvia Gravaglia, okay? I've named her on the photo. So she appears in people and pets, okay? I named her through the photo, not through here. A few more things. This person here, this person is the same person as that one. Can you tell? It just, the computer for some reason wasn't able to tell, but it's the same person as that one. So I'm going to grab this person and I'm going to just drag her over and pop her on top of this one. Should I merge all the photos of these two people? By merging these photos, they will be recognized as the same person. Now, when does this happen? Sometimes it happens because you named them a bit differently. Maybe you had a typo in one name, maybe you have a typo in the other, or for some reason or another, you call this person, Selmira, and this person Selmira Cruz or whatever, and so it didn't know it was the same person. You can have three Nancy friends, and they show up as different Nancys, and you go, no, this is the same Nancy. So then by doing that, and I'm not going to do it because I want to keep these mistakes available for teaching. But if I were to drop it in there, it's going to ask me, do you want to merge them? If I said merge, then this person will now be recognized as that person. So sometimes you need to do some finagling yourself. Okay. Once the person has been named, right, then you can double click and it's going to show you all the photos that it finds of this person. Now, it shows them to you kind of collapsed in a little showcase of this person. But if you want to see them all, you would have to click on show more. And now it shows every photo that it recognizes of this person, which in this case is a lot, right? If you say show summary, then it puts some cute little collection of photos together that the computer chooses, not you, as to which are the ones that it wants to show you. Okay. And it even shows you where those photos are taken. And then if you think you have more photos that haven't been incorporated, you could see review more photos. And no, they don't appear to be any more additional photos of Jack. And that's true. I haven't added any more photos of Jack. But now I'm going to back out to people and pets. I did add more photos of this Vicky. Here, sorry, she had moved because I added another person, Vicky Rios. So I double click and I can see if now it already automatically recognized those in Paris. So see, it says 4. So it already recognized all 4. So I don't think there have been any more, but I can tell it to review. Yeah, it did it automatically. I added them last night. It already figured out who those 4 were. And I didn't need to have it review. So the problem is that when your computer's already working and it's beginning to recognize people, it's harder to get it to review and see more. So, this, on the other hand, is a lot more photos, review more photos. Okay, here's the problem. This person is my sister, and this person is also my sister. So again, the computer has them as 2 different people. So if I were to drag this in here, it'll again, do you want to merge all these photos? Now, I don't want to do that again because I want some mistakes, but I have photos of my sister there and photos of my sister here, and it's just one photo, and that's why it just doesn't have any more photos of this person. So it's probably good if I merge them so it begins to recognize her a bit more. The more photos, the better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one on top of that so you can see the process. I'm going to drop her in there, merge, yep, merge photos. It's the same face. So now when I double click, all the photos of this person are appearing all together. Okay? So that disappeared as a unnamed person. All right. Whenever you have individual photos of people, that's great. But what if sometimes you want more? Like I have Joaquin over here and I have Santi over here. But what if I want photos of Joaquin and Santi? Or in this case, I have photos of my mom and I have photos of me. But what if I want photos of mom and me together? That's what the groups are. So let me go create a photo, a place where I have Skylar, which is my dog, and me. I don't know if I have in this place any, but I'm going to select the two people that I do know. I'm going to say add, and let's see if it found any. Deanna and Skylar. I don't know if it's creating it. No, it says 0 photos. I guess I don't have in this album. Oh, I don't have any photos with my doggy. I have so many of them, but I guess not in this album. But there you go. I had to try it. And since there's none, I guess I can also hit the delete key. I'm going to get rid of that one because no, I don't have any. So let me create another one that might be more logical. I think I have photos of Vicky and Selmira. I know that I just put a photo where I named both of them. So I'm going to say add, and let's see if it figures it out. It takes a little bit to read it. I'm going to come back to this one. I just know because I just did that. This photo has Selmira and Vicky in it. So, but it has other people too. So I'm not sure how it's going to read that. But anyway, I'm going to wait and see if perchance it comes up with one when they're both there. But since there's so many other people, maybe it won't. Anyway, how's it going with you? The People album, a lot of people sometimes have questions about. I don't want to keep talking. I want to make sure that, you know, if I want to add something completely, you saw me add these two people, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, and Sylvia from the photos. But what if I want to add it from here? I'm going to click on add people and it's going to show me some people that it doesn't recognize, like who's this Scrooge? And I could say add and put in that person's name or add and put in this person's name. Um, I'm not going to do that right now. I prefer going from the photos and seeing when there's a person missing and go, ooh, here's this person is unnamed. I'm going to add this name. Now, actually, I do have her. I believe I have her here, Laura. So it's this system is good, but it's not perfect. But let me double click and see if perchance it knows to find more photos of her. No. So then I'm gonna have to name Laura myself. And when I write Laura, it says, is that this Laura? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, because look at the big glasses she had then. And they measure like the distance between your eyes and your nose and your face. And so, of course, it couldn't figure out that that was Laura. That's why. So now I'm going to hit, yeah, that's also Laura. So now other photos where Laura appears, it'll be like, oh, I recognize her now if it finds that same. And so it might add more photos to that. Yes, Colette?
So looking through this, there are some, photos, bunches that are just people that I took photographs of randomly for some jobs I was doing. I don't want them necessarily, I don't want to name them.
Yeah.
Is there some way to just tell the computer like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah. So go ahead and share your screen for a second. Yeah, it's very simple, but I don't have anyone here. I've done that before and I've gotten rid of my, I've learned not to get rid of all my samples because then the computer doesn't show them anymore. But right now, okay, so go ahead and say allow. So there's some people that appear over here that you have no interest in. So go ahead and select one of them.
okay, let's say here.
Okay. Now hit your delete key. Do you want to hide this person from the People and Pets album? Yeah, this is not someone you're interested in seeing the People and Pets album. The photo doesn't disappear. It just doesn't show up here anymore. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have a ton of these. I'm just adding and adding because, you know, I have to teach it. But there's a lot of people here that I have one photo of. And do I really care? No, normally I want this to go find photos of people that I care about. So if anyone appears here without name, if you've named them, it's because you care about them. So usually named ones are okay, but sometimes you name them because they were there and you were, oh, I'll give them a name. But in the end, you really know you're never going to go and pick up photos of whoever this person is. You can go ahead and delete it, even if they've been named or not, right? You can just delete them. The photo isn't going away. It's just the computer recognizing that this person is an important person to you because they show up in your photos is all you're doing. You're going, nah, not really. And you're deleting it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we can still disappear our ex-boyfriends and
You can totally disappear your exes without deleting the photos. Of course, you can also delete the photos or hide them or block. There's so many things you can do. But in particular, yes, you can get rid of them from here. But this is important. Here, let me say, maybe in this photo, this person has three other people with them that you care about, even if, and please, I have no idea who I'm, so don't have say that you don't want this person anymore. You don't want to get rid of the photos because in this photo, he appears with other people that you still want to see. So what you want is the recognition of the name in your people and pets to disappear. That's all. The photo won't disappear. So when I said delete that person, all you did is delete that person from showing up here. The photo will still appear and whoever was on them will still appear. So you're not deleting photos. Just want to clarify that. You're deleting the fact that this is an important person that you want to quickly click and see a lot of photos of them all at once. So in reality, in my sample, I keep adding people in my messages, but in my real one, I have like my family, my extended family, and my really good friends. That's it. I don't need to know I don't need to go and find out photos of, someone that I saw a few times in my life that happened to, or I see them every Thanksgiving, but because they happen to be always at my Thanksgiving, but that doesn't mean that I'll ever really care about their photos. So nothing wrong about it, but I'll never go into my photos to look for this person's image. Okay, so then you just delete them from your people and pets. Does that make sense? That's all. It's nothing good or bad because the whole point of this is supposed to be useful. If you fill it with 200 people, it's not useful anymore. It's the people that you want to be able to click and say, show me more photos of this person, show me more photos of that person. That's really what this is for. So there's no need to have people that you know you'll never do that with. Okay? All right. Good. Thanks for sharing and asking that question. Yes, Blas?
I have two questions. I clicked on people and pets and 6 photos showed up. And one was named, my dog was named, and then I put the name on the rest of the photos. Now, one question is, will that name pop up on, if I go to my library, will the name also show up on the photo of that person?
If you have turned on the show face names, then yes.
Okay,
But if you have not turned that on, then no, the photo will just be a photo.
okay. And how did I get these photos into the people and pets? I mean, I clicked on that and these photos showed
They
up.
were already there.
Yeah.
Your computer, when you leave the Photos app running in the background, you're not using it, but you leave it running. And this is for a lot of people who don't have much there under the Finding People app. Let me just share my screen for a second. And see how this here is saying Finding People? And right next to it, there's an exclamation point. And it says Finding People. And when I click on that, let me actually, it says Photos creates albums. This is albums of people and pets found in your library when you are not using the app. And this is important. When you are not using the app, but it's on. Okay. So, and that means when you're working, here, let me share my entire screen. You know what I tell you all the time to not do? I say, if you're not using it, close the apps, right? Well, in this case, if I minimize this app and I keep working on my computer on anything else, I'm working on stuff, I'm calendar, notes, but it's on. But that little button means it's on. All that time, it sits there and analyzes faces. This is the computer going in and analyzing. So and it takes many hours. It has a ton of photos, a ton of people. It takes a lot of computer work. And so the longer you leave it on without closing it, without using it, it stops when you're using it. Then the more chance it'll have to go and ruminate through all your photos and come up with possible people that maybe you have to repeat them enough times for them to sound like they're important enough to you or something like that. I really don't know why. So if they pop in, it's because they were found as people when the Photos app was on, and now it's asking you, who is this person? And if you don't find anything there, then it's up to you to find them, and it's up to you to let it, whenever we say, do you have more photos of this person? It says no in the moment. It goes, nope, don't have any more photos. But when you say review more photos and it can't find any, then what it does, it goes, okay, I'm gonna keep looking for more photos of Isabella, and I'll pop in some more photos of Isabella, which I told you. I put this one of Vicky yesterday, and I didn't say anything, and boom, it added those photos in there by itself. Okay. Um, I was gonna show you guys how to add them, and then you go. I discovered her name was on it already. Okay. Now, if we give it enough time of it open, it might come up with more people there. But at some point, it's up to you to say, okay, I want more photos of this person or this other one. I've done this so many times, I just don't have more photos of all these people anymore. So no matter how many times I go to review these photos, I can't add. But every now and then, there's a student who says, oh, here, and they share their screen and they say review to find more photos, and they do find it. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm noticing that the Vicky and Rios, the group that I created, isn't showing up. It's not doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to leave the app running, and let's see if maybe after leaving the app running, it was able to, run through it and find them, or maybe it's because they're in a group with too many people and it can't find them. I don't know.
I, I'm just seeing the normal view screen. I'm not seeing what you're
Yeah,
sharing.
I just stopped sharing because I'm gonna actually go in now to share my phone to show you this feature on the phone. So here we go. Yeah, I had stopped the last share and I hadn't shared again. So here we go. I'm in my phone now. Let me open the photos. And same thing. I'm gonna head down, head down, head down, and here's my people and pets. When I click on the Mom and Diana, which is that group, I discover that it's truly photos, that it's just Mom and Diana, which is probably why the other one that I took of this, that tried to create of that group isn't working, because it really only found photos that is only us two. I mean, I know I have group photos of my family where we're both in it. So I guess it got restricted to show me only photos where it was just us two and no one else. And that's probably why that other one that I created isn't going to work, because I don't have photos of just vegans at Mita anywhere. Um, but anyway, and then here are at the very top, the 6 people that I gave little hearts to because they're the ones that I care about the most. Say that I want to see more photos of Skylar. I click on Skylar, and there's a bunch of photos of Skylar. When I want to share, oh, look at my sweet doggy photos, I can just show them like this to someone and show my photos of my dog, or I can also click on the word movie and it's going to make a little tiny movie, and it's got to think about it. Come on. You got stopped. Oh, let's hear it. It's showing me a little video. Oh my goodness. This is not good. I'm going to stop it because my little doggy passed away and that got me. So anyway, he just passed away a few months ago. But anyway, there you go. That's what that's for, right? It's just you can share. I'm gonna move on to a different photo, but there we go. I can show photos of Aaron. I only have him in this group when I recognized him. Photos of Lisa, right? And so this is I can keep going, and if I want to see more than these top, I had more, then I have to go to this arrow. And now I see all my different individual people that I had said that I wanted to see. So if I now want to go find more photos of my sister, there we go. And these are the photos that I have here of my sister. Remember that I had just merged two? There we go. Now, if I want to put him, if I want to make her favorite, I could do a long hole and I can click on this little heart to make her favorite. I can edit the name because it's not right. I can say don't feature her or hide that person. It's in fact, I could even, when you said, how about I have an ex-boyfriend? Instead of getting rid of it, you could actually choose that photo of him and specifically say hide, because then it might not show you photos where that person is in the photos without necessarily deleting them. Anyway, so here's all of them. And if there's someone here that I don't want, I can always hit the edit there and choose 2 or 3 that I don't want anymore and get rid of them. Okay. Oh, look, here's another photo that happens to be of this person. So I don't I'm gonna leave it as a sample, but clearly my phone was also analyzing and it found one more that my computer hadn't found yet. Okay, so that's the people and pets, and it used to be people. So if you have an older computer that your computer can't find pets, if you have Ventura, it can't find pets. If you have can't find pets, then on your phone can update more than your computers can. So then the phone can find pets. Okay. I used to be asked all the time, "Oh, I want to see my pets, but my computer isn't showing them." Well, the phone app does update even on older phones more than the computer. So in the computer, you need to be in Sonoma or Sequoia to get pets. Um, but in the phone, you can have an older phone and you can still get to the pets. All right. Any more questions about the people and pets feature? God, I'm so accustomed that this class has so many people. I don't know where everyone is, but usually there's many more people with questions. So I'll just keep moving forward. But
I have a question.
yes,
When you have two people and it's the same person, but you named them differently and different because you did the naming at different times and stuff.
yeah. Or sometimes you make a typo, or even
Yeah.
if you were to uppercase one name and lowercase the other, it thinks it's two people. So either click and drag them one on top of the other so that it asks you, oh, are these the same person? Or if you don't do that, then you get to say, I want to rename this person. I'll double click on this person and I'll go into the name over here. See how I clicked on the name, and I can rename it to whatever I want to name it, right?
Um,
uh, that'll be renamed. But in general, the best thing is to merge. I keep finding people who have photos. First, they name them Isabella, and the next one they call them Isabella Garcia, and then you just need to just grab them and drop them one on top of the other for them to be.
well, which name shows up? Because I've dragged and dropped a couple. Yeah, I know, but one is just the first name and one is the first and last. And I can't seem to figure out.
It depends on whether you have them in, if you have them in your phone book, right? You can use the first and last, but if you don't have them in your phone book, then it's only going to be first because you're just calling them Sam, Sophia. But if they happen to be in your phone book, then it could be both. It depends. Like I have Iron Man. Where did I put the ones that I called Iron Man and Wonder Woman here? I have Wonder Woman and Iron Man. I have them in my phone book. And so I have them as Iron, first name, man, last name, Wonder, first name, man, last name. So the computer knows that this is Wonder Woman, but most people we just know as first name. So especially if we're marking them up in people, so it puts your first name in there. But if you purposely, when you write, you keep going and you choose that you want the whole thing to be Wonder Woman, then you can just change the name and just put the whole thing Wonder Woman, and then it lets you choose. And now this person is now named Wonder. Name updated. Oh, because I ended up leaving Wonder Woman. Next. Name updated. Done. Now it's called Wonder Woman. Now it shows Wonder Woman. It was showing only Wonder because it assumed I wanted to know him as Chris, as Alan. But if I forcefully put in the last name by renaming it, now it's okay. Okay, you wanted this to be Wonder Woman. You wanted it to be Nancy Marks instead of Nancy Smith. Okay, got it, because you have three Nancys. Does that make sense? But that was because I edited the name and added the last name again. So it's up to you if you want it or not.
I just meant like if you're putting my son's name is Emmett, and I had him as Emmett in one place and as his full name somewhere else.
Yeah.
I want it to keep the full name.
Yeah.
Which
So
one goes on top?
drag the simple name over the full name and it'll prioritize it in that way. But even if you prioritized it the other way, even if it chose the other, just double click on his name. Even if the prioritized name was one,
Yeah.
say that you put two together and it still made it sound just Emmett. Click on the word Emmett and put his whole name. And then when you're done, it'll show up as the full name.
Okay,
So
thank you.
if you did it the wrong way and these two people suddenly you ended up with just Emmett, then just click on the name and edit it yourself. Okay?
Okay,
For the most part, it tries to leave only first names because it assumes that you're on first name basis. It knows.
but not with everybody, but you might,
Yeah, the difference is if when you added this person and you started calling them a name, right? If I put this person and I say that this person is Steve, right? If I keep writing the name myself, Steve Smith, it'll be a person that's unknown. But if I start writing Steve and it's, oh, this was Steve Arnold or this was Steve Beckett, if I choose the person from my contacts book, the computer will still call this person Steve, but see, it knows that it's Steve Arnold. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter as long as you choose them from the contact books. Now, I'm going to get rid of this and cancel because this is definitely not a Steve. But I was showing you, as long as you didn't write the name in yourself, as long as you chose it from the contact, it knows that this is Steve Arnold, even if it only says Steve. That's the part that I'm trying to tell you. Now, if you wrote the full name, Steve Arnold, and suddenly it was supposed to be Steven, and in the contact book you have Steven, and here you wrote Steve, then forget it. As far as the computer's concerned, those are two different people. Does that make sense?
okay,
So it's up to you to then correct the name by hand. All right. So yeah, it picks up from the contact book. If you have a contact for that person, then don't keep writing. Choose the contact because then it just closes the circle. And it'll still call him just Steve or Emmett, but it knows that this is Emmett Smith, right? Or Steve Arnold. It just gives you the first name because that it's on first name basis with that person.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Any other questions um about people and pets? People, nope. Yeah, maybe. No. Okay. All right. So, this is again all stuff that up until now you didn't have much say in it. All you had was that you get to put the heart on to tell them what its favorites, or if the location is wrong, you get to change the location. But for the most part, it's the computer who has decided this based on the metadata that came with the photos. This is based on the date that came with the photos, so you don't choose that either. Days, you don't choose that either. People and pets, you kind of choose with the help of the computer. Memories, you don't at all. It's the computer putting them together.
Are you sharing your screen? Because
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm sorry, when I have someone else share, thanks. Okay, I was running through the list of what we had done, and I don't need to do it again, but just telling, most of these are things that the computer does for you. We're getting into the place where these are things that the computer does for you completely. So people and pets, we had to intervene. It found faces, we need to tell it what they are. Memories used to be completely a computer-based thing that we had zero input in. The new memories we can create or we can edit. But for the most part, I have not created a single one of these myself. This is the computer who has made all of these. So the computer is still making them, making them, making them. See, it just grabs all my photos and is making stuff. It's saying Cambria. I did not make this one when it just looked in there and figured, ooh, you have a bunch of photos in Cambria. So when I open it up, it shows me a photo and then it plays a cute little music and it's basically going through all these photos.
All the mushrooms. That's kind of cool.
It goes down and it shows me these photos, but I did not choose this memory. It's the computer choosing photos that were taken on that trip and calling it a memory. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And it's running through all of these. And when it gets to the end, it stops. And it says, do you want to watch the next one? No, I want to watch Cambria again. Okay, play Cambria again. And it shows me that movie again. Now I can pause this movie and say, "Oh, I don't want to see the movie. I want to just see the photos." So I can click on that and it shows me these are the photos that it used to make that movie, photos that it found from a certain day, from a certain location. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I didn't do any of this. Now, the good news is that before we couldn't fix it. We couldn't tell it that that photo didn't belong, or I hate how I look in this photo, or hey, you didn't put this other one. So now we can. I can say, ew, I don't like that one. I can hit delete. Or I can say, oh, there's another photo that should be here. I can kick plus and it tells me where, and I go and find another one, right? And I can add to that. I can also move them in direction, move them location, tell them, oh, I prefer this one to come before that, put this one here, put that one there. I can change these memories, adapt them, edit them, do better with them. I can do that now. And when I'm done, and I'm going to back out, then there goes the Cambria memory. If I love it so much that I want to be able to see them all the time, I can even give it a little favorite and say, ooh, this is one of my favorite memories. So when I then want to see amongst all these memories that the computer created for me, I'll go, let me just look at my favorites. And it looks like at this point I've favorited 6 of them. Okay. And I'm like, ah, this isn't really a favorite. I can turn it off. It's not there anymore. It's not there in my favorites, but if I go back, I'll find it here still under, I think it was this one, Manhattan and Long Island. And call it a favorite again. Sorry, call it a favorite again. And then it goes back in there as Manhattan. And, oh, I did have Manhattan. Then it was another one. I don't know. There was another one that I had favorite or not favorite. It doesn't matter. I think it was Colorado and Illinois. Okay. Again, I have not made these. The computer made them for me. When I look at them, if I like them, let me just see this one. I'll double click. I'll watch it. If I just want to see the photos, I don't have to sit through them. See the photos and I go, yeah, I approve of them, or I hate how I look here. I hate how I look there. But if I like them, I can go for it and I can watch it. I can enjoy it. And I can actually give it a heart over here as well to turn it into a favorite. Okay. Where do these memories appear? Well, have you ever noticed your phone when you turn on your phone that you see memories appear on your kind of right above your lock screen? That's one place where they appear. And the other day, in fact, my phone appeared with a memory that included this photo. And I went, oh, I love this photo. So I actually stopped that memory, grabbed the photo, and put it in here to use today, right? Because, I got like, oh, my cutie pie. So that came up from the fact that my phone, when I picked up, this is the phone I use for teaching, and I picked it up yesterday to prepare for today's class, and that little memory popped up, and I went, oh. So I just decided to put it in there, right? So now, before, the only way was to deal with the memories that the computer made. Now I can go over here to memories and I can click on this plus sign, okay, right there, plus sign, and I can describe a memory, right? And here it's giving me 3 different ideas. And this little icon, this little feature, you can also do it right here. This little feature, this is Apple Intelligence.
Wait,
It's Apple Intelligence, and what Apple's going to do its best to create a memory based on what you described. So now I'm going to call it, okay, so here's the test. These I just told it that it was these were in Paris, right? But I didn't tell it that it was a wedding. I didn't say anything, and nothing here looks weddingy because I didn't put pictures of, I barely know her daughter who got married, so I actually didn't download the photos of the wedding, the person in the wedding. I only downloaded some photos of my friends. So if I write wedding in Paris, I'm curious what it's gonna do. I have a feeling it won't know, but let me say wedding in Paris. Maybe I'll say 2025 to give it a better idea. And I'm going to hit return and let's see if it knows. It's picking up all my photo. Oh, choose the date, see? But I do know it was September 14th. So it's asking me a little bit more. And I'm going to say, it says 6 items found. Okay. So I'm going to say done. And so it's thinking, and there you go. it gave me a memory of wedding in Paris. There you go. They're all bad quality there, as I told you, downloaded from Facebook, but cute. Actually, the wedding ceremony photos are pretty impressive. But I didn't. So it's repeating because that's all it was. So when I go back out, there it is. That's been created. This is the first one that I actually create using a memory, but I had to prompt it and know something about it because otherwise it wouldn't have found it. I wonder if I describe a memory more generically, like, I don't know, summer vacations. I don't know. I have a lot of vacation photos that happen in the summer. Let me hit return and let's see what it does with that. Is I can see the photos it's picking are all from the summer, whatever it considers summer. All right. From 2021 to 2023, it picked, I have tons of photos. It picked these, which is interesting because these are not of a vacation. They happen in the summer, but the first three were not vacation. These are. And of course, they're not what I consider the best photos, but they are photos. It just chose a random, how many?
I would think vacation would be a hard thing for AI to understand or recognize.
Oh, no, AI understands the word vacation, but it's putting in photos when I visited my son in Berkeley during the summer. This is graduation. Yes, it happened, I guess, in June, but it's not a summer vacation.
No,
This
it's
is after
summer.
graduation, but it's summer. So I guess it's kind of
I think it can do summer
interpretation, right?
better. It can do summer because it's got dates, but I just,
Yeah, so it looked for photos of summer that it considered important, summertime fun, but it didn't necessarily get much more guidance from me. So all it did is it went in and it found a sprinkling of photos that happened in the summer and it
yeah.
put them all together. So I can go, that's fine, thank you, don't really, and I'm gonna write and I'm gonna just right click and just delete that memory. Okay. Because not so important. Now the memory not the photos didn't get deleted, just that little collection of photos got deleted. Does that make sense? So with all of these that I never created, that the computer created, I could go back and I could edit them. I could delete them. There's so many at this point, it's overwhelming. I wouldn't remember. I would have to go in and see that says Cambria 2 or 3 different times. That's because I don't have that many photos in here. So here's another one of Cambria, and I think I saw the word Cambria again somewhere there, So each time it probably selected a different set of photos of that. Then it chose photos of each person and it said that person over the years, that person over the years, that person over the years, right? So anyway, cool. Let's head over to the phone. And same thing here. So here we go. When I go down from under the photos. I can go to the albums, memories. There it is. Oh, look at that. This is the one that I just created on my computer. You saw that. I created it with you guys. It's already on my phone. That's my Paris memory. And then I go over and I can start playing through a bunch of these other ones, right? Yeah. So cool.
Does it let you rename them?
Yeah. Say that I want to call this one wedding. I'm gonna deep hold. Okay.
Wait,
And
what was that? Deep hold.
like when you click and you hold deep
Okay.
on your phone is different than when you just click. But I'm noticing that over here, I can't seem to change the name. Wonder if I can on my computer. Let me see. Because it called it Paris. Can I edit title? Yes, on the computer I can edit the title, but on
Okay.
photo, on the phone,
On the phone, you can't.
let me see. I'm going to click on the name. Let me see. I stopped it from running as a movie and I see 3 dots here. 3 dots always means more. Edit, share, show map, edit timeline, hide photos. It doesn't seem to let me edit the title, but what if I click on just the title itself? Sometimes long clicking on things allows me, no. All right, well, there you go. On the phone, I can't change the title. Like I'm touching everywhere that I would think would let me. Nope. Okay, on the phone, I can't change the title. If someone figures out how to change the title on the phone, let me know. But on the computer, I can. Let me share the computer.
Maybe-
Most of the things can happen both ways, but not everything. So now here I am in my Paris. I right click, edit title. And I'm going to call them Paris. And I'm going to call the one Lole's daughter's wedding, which isn't as impressive as Paris, but there you go. So there you go.
Oh, but sometime in a while, go back and look at the phone and see if it communicated the
Well,
change.
I'm sure it did. Remember, I just created the Paris one here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
immediately, I went and showed you the phone and there it was. So I'm sure it won't be instant, but I'm sure it will be there by the time we go back to the phone. In fact, oh, look at that. There it is. It's already changed it. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. It's already called Lole's daughter's wedding on my phone. See that? So it already changed on my phone.
I was able to change
You were able to change the
on the
name on the
phone.
phone?
Yeah, it's just the three little dots up at the top.
Yeah, it's possible that I was showing it to you in my old phone. If I go to my new phone and I click on my new phone, I thought you could. I'm going to my new phone and I'm going to the memory and I'm going to the three dots. You know what? Even in my new phone on that memory, I can edit it, but it's not showing me how to change the name.
Yeah,
As
when you,
Oh, yes, yes, there it is. And you know what? Maybe I missed it. Maybe even on the other one, I could have done that too. It shows me the three dots and then yeah. Yes, I forgot. So let me share. I just see how I could have done it. I got it. I got it. Thanks for saying that. I searched a bit more. Here's my phone again then. Okay. So here's the memory, which is already called Loreza's wedding. I start playing it and I stop it, and those are the three dots, right? I'm not even stopping it. I'm going for it. And it says Lodi's daughter's wedding. Well, guess what? That icon is when you want to write something. So I'm going to click on that icon, and then I get to call it your wedding in Paris. I'm going to call it. Ah, I was looking away. I can't I can't type on the phone without looking away like you can on my computer. So there we go. Now I've changed it to wedding in Paris. And that sound that's coming up, if I don't like the music, I can go over here to this little icon and I can change, that's the sound that it's chosen. I can click on that and choose a different music. Choose that. And I can tell it to go to another one. I don't know. These are just maybe the phone is choosing. I don't know them. So now I don't know if I'm gonna like that any better, but let's go. I have changed the music that came up with that. That's more wedding-ish. Okay, so now I have a more wedding-ish sound. Okay. All right, so that was on the phone. So yeah, I was able to do that. Thanks for pointing that out. So again, this little icon that appears at the top, and you click on that, that means edit or write or new. It's like a little pencil on a notepad or something, and you click on that, and then you can add stuff. Maybe you can, there's another field there. Can I write?
You can write low. Oh, is it done?
Say done. And I wonder where that Lole's daughter went. Oh, look, it's like a subtitle.
Yeah.
In Paris, Lole's daughter. Cool. I have learned something. There can be a subtitle. I just have never made a memory, and this is the first time I make a memory because in the past they were all automatically made for you and you couldn't choose. But now that you can, that's kind of much more interesting to me than it was in the past. Because in the past, it would choose photos and you'd be like, okay, not bad, but nothing I care about. Now that you can make them yourself, that's a bit better. All right, while we're here, I'm gonna go down to the next one, which is trips. This is also new. A lot of people's personal albums that they make is of trips, like trips that you took. You'll have to make an album yourself. And I guess since that is one of the most typical traditionally made albums, the computer decided to make its own. So trips appeared about a year ago, maybe two, maybe it was Sonoma. I don't think it was Ventura, but for sure with Sequoia, that it's picking photos, what it's considered trips. Now, again, I haven't found it necessarily accurate, but it's it's a trip. So let's click on this one here that it says trips. And when I go up and down, it's like, yeah, these are all from that trip. That's good. Can I edit? Can I change it? Yeah, I can select some and tell it to not put some. I can select this one and go, no, I don't want that one and trash it. Or I might be able to add some more. Let me see. I'm going to click on that. Can I? Nope, it doesn't let me search more. Let me see this check mark. Select item, select all. This is all to delete some. How would I be able to add some? I know on the computer you can add some, but I'm trying to see if there's any way to add some on the phone. Search, show map, share. So it looks like right now, and I would have to research it, you can take photos away in trips, but you can add some. And the last time I played with this, the trips was like memories before. They were kind of immutable. You couldn't change them. Now it looks like you can tell them, I don't like something, but it doesn't let you yet add something on your own. If I click on this one, it's chosen and 308 photos. So it's choosing a bunch of photos.
I found how you can add photos.
In the phone?
Yeah.
How it should tell me.
Same way that you edited the name and then underneath the main photo, it says add photos.
Well, when I go to edit the name, the three dots, it doesn't say that. But again, remember that this is my older phone, and in this case, the three dots is not giving me that choice. Let me click on, let me look in my other phone and my new phone. If I go to the same trips choice and I go to those three dots, filter. Can you show me here? Because I'm not seeing it. Where?
I can't see the top of your screen.
Well, I'm going to choose this one that says Spain. And then on the top, I'm seeing select and three dots. Select,
Okay.
I can select to delete some, but I can't then add. And in the three dots, I'm just getting search, share, and show map.
So I get search, share, and show maps, but right up above that is the name of this collection.
Yeah,
And
like it did in the memories, right? Yeah, I don't have that yet. So it's probably because it's
I'm
not
sorry,
included.
you're not in memories.
No, I'm in trips.
You're in trips. Okay.
Yeah, trips is operating differently. Trips is not.
I see.
Yeah. Trips, last time I checked trips, you couldn't edit it and I looked it up. Yeah. You can take away, which is better than nothing. Before memories, you couldn't even take away, but you still can't add. And I guess in a way it makes sense because if a certain date you were gone, you were gone. So it's okay. You can just say, I don't like that photo. Don't show me that photo. But here's the thing. I gave an example of at the same time that I was in Spain, my husband was on a bike trip and he sent me photos of his bike trip. So here I'm showing the photos of Spain, and suddenly my husband's bike trip photo would appear because it was of the same dates. You know what I mean? So then that didn't work. So if they chose it because of location, it works. And by the way, guys, yes, this is my summer vacation that I did this summer, and it was incredible. But um, but it showed the last time I showed this, it showed a photo of my husband on his bike because it was in my computer in the same array of photos of the same exact dates. He was doing a bike trip while I was in Spain. But anyway, looks like this time it's going by location because I'm not seeing any photos of my husband on his bike. So somehow this selection is better than the one that I saw the other day. Okay, but again, it makes so many choices that that some are going to be right and some are going to be wrong, right? Anyway, so that's trips. So up until now, it's a little bit less changeable, but I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to share the same thing on the computer, but it is at least you can still tell it what you don't like. So now I'm on the computer and I'm going to go from memories to trips. And here we are. Let me see. Colorado and Illinois. I'm going to double click on this one. And what if I want this one to be over here and this one over there? And I can't because they are also by order of appearance. What if this is the one that I want to put at the beginning of the trip? I can't. So in trips, you're kind of stuck to what they allow, so to say.
And
But
that's going to be the date order in trips.
this is so weird. Stearns Wharf, and these photos are not of Stearns Wharf. The date order of the trips is, I don't know,
I mean, it looks like maybe
because the Spain trip isn't here. My phone is showing me the Spain trip, and this one isn't showing me the Spain trip. Did I tell it I didn't like it? This is only showing me these 3 trips in order of years, but it's not showing me 2025 trips, which Spain was 2025. This is weird because my phone is showing me 2025. And then it starts with this one in 2024, but I have 2 more trips. So I guess it'll transfer at some point. I have the New York and the Spain trip, but this one isn't showing it. I'm wondering if at some point in demoing it, maybe I got rid of it. I don't know because it would have gotten rid of it all along. Anyway, so that's memories. You can edit. Before I didn't like it because it was kind of like trips. You could do nothing to it. Now trips, you can do nothing to it, except for now you can at least take away photos that you don't like. So it's a bit better. And then there's featured photos. Featured photos, again, you don't choose. You don't choose featured photos. If I go to the library and I decide that I want this to be a featured photo, I try to drop it in there. No, not happening. This is completely random. The computer shows photos that it considers featured. And when you turn on your phone in that initial lock screen, that's where it shows you the featured photos. Okay. It's not memories. Sometimes it shows you memories, sometimes it shows you trips, sometimes it shows you featured photos. So I'm going to share my phone right now with you guys and show you what I mean. I hope it still shares the lock screen. I think it will. See that photo there? This is me before I completely opened my computer. That is an example of it showing me a random photo. And if I want to see the dates and the stuff that's happening, whatever, it's like a little mini random photo. When I click on it, if I like it, it takes me to that photo. And it's a photo from March 30, 2018 that the computer decided to show me. I didn't choose this photo. The computer showed it to me. Okay. So next time when I open, it'll show something else, but it's one of the ones that it considered a featured photo. All right. Again,
But you can edit that, correct?
no, what shows in here is completely random. It's not me. I'm not,
That's on your phone?
it's on my phone, but I do not choose what's a featured photo. The computer does. It does not, it's not me. It's not my favorites. It's not me choosing
Right.
a favorite. This is not my favorites. Okay.
Because mine is giving me a remove from featured photos.
Where?
I think I just clicked.
On your phone
Yeah.
or on your
So
computer?
I'm on my phone and I'm on featured photos. And then I just click the little three dots, and down at the bottom it says remove from featured photos.
Okay, clearly you are looking at, let me look at my new photo, because on my phone, if I show you my phone right now, sorry, featured photos, I'm going here, I'm looking at three dots, it's not letting me choose anything. I think that maybe on you have a newer phone. I'll go
I
check.
have a 14.
But I can do is select and then select a photo that I don't want and put it in the trash, but I don't really want to try it. I think that'll trash the photo versus, let me try. Yeah, it'll be deleted. So that is not what I want to do.
I'm
Don't
able
want
to do it on
trash.
my computer also.
Can you
It's
share your
it's
computer then
giving
and show
me,
me? Share
I'm
your computer
sorry.
because it's certainly not letting me. So share your computer and show me. Um, let me, I'm looking at my phone now in featured photos. And let me see in my new phone. To see if it lets me. Yep, on my new phone and my featured photos, I can choose what photos I want to add. But on my old phone, I can't. So that's interesting. So yeah, I just showed you how I couldn't choose what in the what I could do, but I'm seeing that on my new computer. I'm looking at my Tahoe, and at my new phone, I can choose what's in the featured photos. Oh, you all froze. Is it me who's frozen or you guys? No.
No. Huh?
Okay, for a moment,
No.
everyone was very still, and it was like a moment of, but you know, there's a difference when everyone's still versus when you're frozen. Because
Yeah.
like still is just still, but you know, a hair still moves. A frozen, everyone's like mid word, and you kind of all froze for a second there. All right, so yes, I've discovered that on my Tahoe and on my new phone, I can change feature photos, but on my old phone and on Sequoia, I wasn't able to change my featured photos. So for what it's worth, it's coming. All these used to be completely unchangeable, and they're slowly being able to be chosen. So that's good. Then why aren't they even showing the favorites instead of featured photos? Since obviously we decided favorites was good, why isn't favorites what shows there instead of featured photos? That's the part that I don't understand. We got favorites. Why don't you show favorites in that little phone screen instead of featured photos that came out of nowhere? So that's just it. That's just the computer. Okay, looking at the time, where are we? What time is it? We're okay, so we have about 15 more minutes. Okay, does anyone else have questions about trips or featured photos or memories? And what and why? Before we move on to something else? I'm actually,
I do have a question for you.
yeah,
Well, so if I have sensitive documents, like let's say my passport, my, pictures of my passport, my driver's license,
yeah.
and my thought is to put those type of sensitive documents into my hidden folder. So if I have an app that has access to my photos for editing or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
do they also have access to the hidden?
Well, for better or for worse, when you have other apps, right, that show you thing that try to access your photos. For example, by the way, I'm gonna share my screen right now to show you another feature that's here. By the way, well, before I just checked online just to make sure I wasn't spewing nonsense, and it does say featured photos and iPhotos are images that are automatically selected and displayed in various places on your iPhone. Like in your home screen and then your For You tab in the Photos app and stuff like that. So anyway, it's automatically selected. I'm like, can you always choose? Anyway, now let me go back to your question because I'm answering me that I was just really trying to make sure that I got that right. Yeah, features photos are chosen by the computer. There's a place called hidden photos. Two things, two answers to your thing. One is that you can hide those photos, which you should, right? And B, that you can, from the, I'll show you how to hide the photos in this app. So that's good. So that way no one can access them from another app. But on top of that, when you have an app that tries to access your photos for editing purpose, for example, or for some other reason, for example, you want to share from Facebook, you want to access your photos on Facebook on your phone or something like that. I never give any of those apps access to my entire library. So I would recommend not doing that. I just tell them select only certain photos and then I give them access to just those photos, just because I feel it's less invasive. But if you've already given them access to all your photos, that would be something you'd go back into your privacy section and take it off. So I'm thinking social media. When you're taking a picture and then you want to add that photo, say to Facebook, when you go to Facebook to add the photo, it says, can I have access to your photos? Everyone wants access to your photos, and you're going to go, no, just select these 4 photos. And then it selects those 4 photos and it posts them, but it can't access all your photos. So that's just not something I'm going to show you right now because it's not part of the photos class. It's just each app that ever wants access to your photos, especially if it's a social media one, I tell it no. But inside of photos, there is something you can do. You can hide those photos. So everyone, let's go to the library and go choose a photo. Some of these photos that we just made today that are unimportant. I'm going to choose this keyboard and I'm going to say, I don't want this one to hide anymore. So again, it's possible that I just photographed my ID or my passport on a trip. I did that. I photographed my passport, my IDs. I had photos of, health insurance. I had photos of everything that I needed, but I didn't want anyone to be able to use them willy-nilly. So you right click and I have to share my entire screen because it's out of the picture. Here we go. You right click on a photo. Let's assume that this is my passport. Right click and say hide one photo. This photo will be hidden from all places in your library, but it still can be found in the hidden album. All right, so what does that mean? I'm going to say hide. So now if I come to my library, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, well, where's your hidden album? It depends. If you went over here to view, are you showing or are you hiding the hidden photo album? So you can choose to view, hide hidden photo album, or view, show hidden photo album. Okay, so right now I said show, which is not very hidden, but where do I find it? Well, down here under utilities, one choice is my hidden album right there. If I click on my hidden album, I have to put in my computer's phone or password or touch ID or my face or whatever it might be. So if someone steals your phone, they would have to have your finger with them, or they would have to know your password. Since I do know my own password, I'm going to click on view it, and then it makes me put in my computer password, and I'm going to use my finger. And here are my hidden photos. Let's assume that these were important. I have now been able to see them, but since the album was visible, someone else who knows your password would have been able to see them too. How about instead, I tell it view, hide hidden photo album. So now if someone comes to your computer, if they look for the hidden photo album, you wouldn't have known that I have like 20 pictures in there. Of course, they could go up to view and show the hidden photo album if they know how to do it, but then when they get there, they'll still be stopped by having to put in your ID. But if they know your password, then they'd get in. But remember what I always say, keep your passwords private. Don't give them to everyone willy-nilly who uses your computer, right? So this is your computer password. So if you give your computer password to people who come visit, they could get into your hidden photo album. I recommend that you have a different, I always say, there's in the system settings, you can set up a guest user. You can go into the internet accounts and create a guest user, not in the internet account, sorry, in the users and groups. You can create a guest user with no password and you sign out of your account. You open up the guest user. They can use your apps. They can use your internet. They can use everything, but they cannot get into your files. They do not have to know your passwords. And if they stay for a week and they need to use your computer, go for it. But they have to use the guest user because otherwise you have to tell them how to get into your computer. I have this computer set up in 3 different accounts. When I teach, I'm in this version, which is the one I'm using now. This one is the one that I use with my teacher stuff that's administration that is not teaching, because when you see is only certain things. And then this is my actual account that I use for my own personal things. So right now, even if I wanted to show you my personal stuff, I can't because I'm stuck in the username of teacher. And by being stuck in that username of teacher, I can't see my personal stuff. And that's what would happen to your guests. They wouldn't be able to get into your stuff, right? So anyway, that's just me and explaining how useful or not this hidden album might be. Were you all able to see and hide something and show it again?
Yes.
I'm going to get into there. I'm going to put in my password again. And now I'm going to go, oh, this isn't it's not so unimportant. I'm going to unhide it. So now I'm going to select these 3 that I didn't really want to have hidden. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to say unhide these 4 photos. Boom. They're out of the hidden album, so those are visible again. And I'm going to unhide this keyboard since I keep using it for these kind of things. Now I don't need it anymore. Oh, I'm going to unhide that one. And the rest can remain hidden. And that's a really good place to put your documents. When you give access to people, to apps to see your photos, they still cannot get into your hidden album. That said, I don't recommend giving access to apps unless it's a photo editing app, in which case you can choose these 10 photos, not every photo in your album. That's just my choice. But that you control from the apps that are asking you access to your photo album. Okay. You say, no, not everything. Here, I want you to access these 5 photos. Okay, these 5 photos, and I can publish them on social media, for example. So good. Give me a yes if you've tested the hidden album and you've able to hide something and then unhide it. Hide the whole album itself or unhide the whole album. So you
How
can
do you get out of the hidden album?
you just go to another album.
Okay.
For a little bit, it remains open because you've unlocked it. But after, I don't know if it's 5 minutes or so, I don't know when it'll rehide itself.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how long it stays open. Meaning if I go to library right now, see how it's still unlocked, I can still go to it. Same with my recently deleted. But yeah, if for a little bit, we can time it, but I think it's 5 minutes, something like that. It stays open in case you're working in there. And after that, it locks again and you have to put in your password again. All right. So that's in the utilities feature. We're going to keep looking at a lot of these utilities, but I'm looking right now at my time. Oh, we're still fine. So let's do a bit more since that was what was next was utilities. Well, actually, no, let me show you that on the phone. In particular, I want to show you on the phone only in part because some people only have their phone, but also because in this class, a lot of people handle their photos from their phone. They don't even go into their computers. However, a computer is a bit better. Once we get into organizing, you'll see why I think it's a bit better. But anyway, as I keep going down and down and down, I'm going to hit the utilities, right? And here it is. Here's my hidden album, and here's my recently deleted. And again, I can click on hidden album, and it's going to ask me for my Face ID in this case, which is because that's what I use on this phone. It could be asking me for a password if I didn't use Face ID. I say view album, it's looking at me, and good, now it's giving me access to my hidden photos. And if I don't want to show them, I'll leave. And if I want to hide something, I'm going to go to all my photos and say that I wanted to hide this one again. I'm going to right click. So when I say right click, I'm going to click and hold. So that's the click and hold. And then I can do a bunch of stuff, including I can hide it. So I'm going to hide this photo. The photo will be hidden, but it can be found in the hidden album. You can choose to show or hide the hidden album in the settings. So right now it's visible. The hidden album is visible, but it needs to be passworded, but it's still visible. If I want to change that, I have to go to the settings. So I'm going to go to hide photo. So if I go to my hidden photo album, there it is. I see my hidden photo album, but if someone else tries to pick up my phone and see it, they don't have my face. So only opens for me. So I click on this, it opens because I'm me, and there's the photo that I hid. Now I'm gonna hold tight and say unhide because I didn't want it to be hidden, and now it's out of my hidden photo albums. So what if you don't want your hidden? So this is what I did on the trip. Okay, I had all my documents in the hidden photo albums, but just in case if I didn't, and since they were there as security, they weren't, I didn't use them. I didn't present that. I presented my own passport, my own photos. So I didn't even want them to be hiding here. I didn't want it to be visible that there was a hidden photo albums in case someone did steal my phone and put it in front of my face or something. So I actually, in the settings, okay, so now we're going to go to the computer, to the photo settings. Okay. And I'm going to go down, down, down to the apps. This is the settings app on my phone. I'm going to go down to the apps. And I'm going to look for the photos, which I can either scroll down or I go over here to the P. And then I'm closer to scrolling because I've clicked on the P a little bit. Now I'm in the OPQRS. Here we go. Here's my photos app. Okay. And then over here, I get to choose whether to show or not show the hidden album. So if I don't show it, when I go back to my photos, the hidden album isn't there anymore. Now it's there, the photos are there, and in case of my passport was stolen or something, I can go back in here, back into my apps, go and say show hidden photo albums again, and then I can open up in my phone, there it is, I can look at it, I can view the album, and I can then find my documents, and yay, life is good again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Nothing is impregnable, but that's as impregnable as it gets. Okay? Great question.
Um,
Yeah.
if your hidden album is like if you turn off the show, if you turn off show hidden album,
Mhm.
how do you put things into the album? Do you need it open? Do you need it visible in
No,
order
no, no. If you are hiding it, doesn't mean that you can't put photos in it. Even if it's hidden from view, but I could still right click and say hide photo. It
Okay.
still works. It's just not visible, easy to be grabbed. Does that make sense?
I take life drawing classes, and I have my grandson sometimes uses my computer, so I put all the naked people,
That would make sense, yeah, in your hidden photo album. Yeah.
not out of, you know,
Well,
it just,
yeah. So, but what you might want to do then is to either make sure he doesn't know your password so that if he opens hidden, it won't let him in. But if he already knows it, then either go and hide the hidden photo albums, but then each time you want to get into it, you're going to have to go into your settings and unhide it, right?
I
To get
don't use it very often, but I just, yeah, no, I turned off the show
if
hidden.
I get rid of show hidden album and I
Yeah,
go into my photos and I want to hide a photo, it's still available. So now there's no
right.
hidden album to be seen. It's gone. And when I head over here to this photo, that's a very distinctive photo. So it's clear that it's hidden here. This one, say I want to hide that one. I'm gonna kind of hold it tight and I'm gonna hide it, right? it's going into my hidden album, even though I wasn't seeing it. Hide photo. That pink photo has disappeared. When I go down to my hidden albums, not there, not there. Can't see that photo. Can't see that photo at all. Can't find it, can't find it. I would have to know to go all the way to my settings, to my photos, to my apps, to my whatever, to see the show the hidden album photo again before I can go back in here, find the hidden album, open it up, put my face in front of it, save hidden album, and there it was. There's the photo. So even though I wasn't seeing it, it's still functional. Now I'm going to hold it again and I'm going to say unhide and all's good. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, good question. And that's a perfect example of a good use of that album, you know, that kids use your phone all the time. And yeah, they're not necessarily having to explain all that depending on their age, not necessary.
And it's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I have,
Let me just stop for a second and say that I have a total of 35 more seconds. And remember, in 15 minutes, I teach
Very-
another class till 9 p.m. So quick question.
Very
And
quick.
when I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to say goodbye really abruptly. So yes, Marta was your question.
I have one shared album that I have shared. The others are shared by my family members. So
Okay.
if I delete the one that I have shared,
Yeah.
and obviously it's going to still, those photos are in my library. They're going to stay in my library. They're just the shared album is going to be deleted, correct?
Yeah. You can also not delete it, but just unshare it with the people you've shared it in case you want to share it with other people or not. You don't have to delete the whole album. But yeah, guess what? I'm going to talk about shared albums next time. So why don't
Perfect.
you ask me this question again, and I'll show you a bit more about the shared albums,
Sure.
because otherwise people don't know what we're talking about.
Sounds good.
Good
Thank
answer
you.
for you, but actually somebody remember to ask me on Wednesday about shared albums, okay?
Thank you.
Well, actually I'm going to talk about regular albums first before shared albums, but anyway. All right,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Thank you.
See
Thank
you
you very
on
much.
Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Practice, practice.